Finding your purpose in life can often feel like an elusive quest. Many people spend years trying to figure out what they're meant to do, feeling lost in the maze of daily routines, obligations, and external expectations. But deep down, you know there's more to life than just getting by. There's a calling, a sense of direction that aligns with who you truly are. The good news is, this search for purpose doesn't have to be so confusing or overwhelming. In fact, the answers are closer than you think. At the heart of this journey lies a powerful philosophy that has stood the test of time: Stoicism. An ancient wisdom that can help cut through the noise of modern life, bringing clarity where there was once doubt. Stoicism doesn't just provide answers. It offers tools to navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and strength. It empowers you to face obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn and grow. And in doing so, it opens the door to understanding your true purpose. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters. We are bombarded by social media, constant news, and the pressure to keep up with others. This noise drowns out the quiet voice inside that's trying to tell you what you're meant to do. Stoicism helps you silence that noise, not by retreating from life, but by engaging with it in a way that brings focus and meaning. It teaches that purpose is not found in external achievements or the validation of others, but in the way you live, in the choices you make every day. Purpose isn't something you find by accident. It's not a sudden revelation that comes from out of nowhere. It's something that grows from within, shaped by the way you handle adversity, how you treat others, and how you respond to the world around you. Stoicism teaches that true purpose is discovered when you align your actions with your values, and when you learn to live in harmony with your inner self. This philosophy shows that the key to finding purpose is not to look outward, but to turn inward. Life is full of uncertainty. We don't always know what tomorrow will bring, and this uncertainty can be unsettling. It can make you question your decisions and second-guess your path. But what if uncertainty wasn't something to fear? What if embracing it could actually lead to greater clarity? Stoicism encourages you to accept that uncertainty is a natural part of life. Rather than trying to control everything, it invites you to trust the process. By letting go of the need for control, you begin to see things as they truly are, and in that clarity, your purpose becomes more evident. One of the greatest obstacles to finding purpose is emotional turbulence. Emotions like fear, doubt, and anger can cloud your judgment and lead you astray. They can make you react impulsively, causing regret and confusion later on. Stoicism doesn't teach you to suppress your emotions, but to understand and manage them. By learning to detach from emotional impulses, you gain a clearer perspective on life's challenges. When you control your emotions, you control your actions. And when you control your actions, you start to walk the path of your true purpose with confidence. Living with purpose requires a deep sense of self-control. It means knowing when to act, when to pause, and when to say no. Stoicism teaches that self-control is the foundation of inner power. It's not about denying yourself the pleasures of life, but about mastering your impulses so they don't master you. The more control you have over your reactions, the more empowered you become. Purposeful living demands this inner strength because it requires you to stay committed to your values, even when the world tries to pull you in different directions. In our pursuit of purpose, we often carry with us toxic ideals, beliefs and expectations that have been imposed on us by society, family, or peers. These ideals can weigh us down and keep us from seeing our true path. Stoicism helps you recognize when it's time to let go of these harmful beliefs. It guides you to question whether the standards you're trying to live up to are truly your own, or if they've been shaped by external forces. Only by releasing what doesn't serve you can you make room for what truly matters. Finding your purpose is not about following the crowd. It's about standing firm in your values, even when others don't understand. It's about leading by example, not by force. Stoicism teaches that true leadership comes from living your values, not preaching them. When you align your actions with your beliefs, you inspire others not by telling them what to do, but by showing them what is possible. Your purpose becomes clear when you lead with integrity, and others will naturally follow. Distractions are everywhere, pulling us away from what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in things that drain your energy and take you off course. Stoicism teaches the importance of focus, saying no to distractions so you can concentrate on what's truly meaningful. Purposeful living requires clarity, and that clarity can only come when you eliminate the noise and direct your attention to the things that align with your values. Every time you say no to a distraction, you're saying yes to your purpose. One of the greatest lessons Stoicism offers is that mastery of the mind is the key to winning life's battles. Challenges will come, but how you respond to them defines who you are. Stoicism teaches resilience, not in the sense of never falling, but in always getting back up. The more you train your mind to control your reactions, the stronger you become. And as you develop this mental strength, your purpose becomes clearer. You learn that life's struggles are not in the way, they are the way. Purpose is not something you wait for, it's something you create. It's forged in the choices you make every day, in the habits you build, and in the way you carry yourself through life's ups and downs. Stoicism provides a roadmap for this journey. It doesn't promise an easy path, but it does promise a fulfilling one. When you follow the principles of Stoicism, self-control, emotional detachment, clarity of thought and resilience, you are laying the foundation for a life lived with purpose. This journey requires courage. It requires letting go of what doesn't serve you and embracing what does, even when it's difficult. It requires saying no to distractions and yes to the things that align with your values. It requires you to lead by example, not just for others, but for yourself. And most importantly, it requires you to look inward, to trust that the answers are already within you, waiting to be discovered. The search for purpose is not a race with a finish line. It's a lifelong journey of growth, learning, and self-discovery. Each day presents an opportunity to refine your path and draw closer to the person you are meant to be. Stoicism is your guide on this journey. It's a philosophy that empowers you to live with intention, to embrace life's uncertainties, and to find strength in every challenge. With Stoicism, you'll discover that your purpose is not something distant and unattainable. It's something you can live every day, in every action, and in every moment. So, as you begin this journey, remember, your purpose is not out there waiting to be found. It's within you, waiting to be realized. Through the wisdom of Stoicism, you'll gain the clarity, strength, and focus to uncover it. And in doing so, you'll live a life that is not only fulfilling, but deeply aligned with who you truly are. As you move forward, it's time to dive deeper into one of the most powerful shifts you can make in life, training your mind to respond instead of react. Reactions are often instinctive, fueled by emotion and habit, while responses come from a place of calm, reason, and self-control. This difference may seem subtle, but it's the foundation of living a life with purpose, rather than being tossed around by the waves of circumstance. Through Stoicism, you can cultivate the strength to respond thoughtfully to whatever life throws your way, rather than being swept up in the turmoil of impulsive reactions. When something unexpected happens, whether it's criticism from a colleague, a rude comment from a stranger, or even a personal disappointment, the initial emotional reaction is often anger, frustration, or sadness. This gut reaction, however, doesn't have to define the way you handle the situation. Stoicism teaches that there's a brief but critical moment between stimulus and response. In that moment, you hold the power to choose your response, and that choice can transform the entire outcome of the situation. The difference between reacting emotionally and responding thoughtfully lies in this space. Responding, rather than reacting, allows you to maintain control over your life. It shifts the balance of power back to you. When we react immediately, we often regret our words or actions because they're driven by fleeting emotions rather than thoughtful consideration. By learning to respond, you make choices that align with your long-term values and goals, rather than letting a temporary emotion dictate your behavior. This control brings clarity and allows you to remain grounded, even in the face of chaos. In Stoicism, this ability to respond thoughtfully is often referred to as emotional resilience. It's the capacity to maintain inner calm and clarity no matter how turbulent the external world becomes. The Stoic philosophers believed that while we can't control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to it. This simple but profound shift in perspective is the key to unlocking emotional freedom. You are no longer a slave to external events, but the master of your inner world. Developing the habit of responding instead of reacting requires practice, and it begins with self-awareness. The Stoics teach that we must first become aware of our emotional triggers, those moments when we're most likely to react impulsively. Once you recognize these triggers, you can prepare yourself to handle them differently. It's not about suppressing emotions, but about observing them without letting them control you. In this observation, you create the space necessary to choose a response that aligns with your higher purpose. In the heat of the moment, emotions can feel overwhelming. Anger, frustration, fear. They can cloud judgment and push you to act in ways that you might later regret. The Stoic approach is to acknowledge these emotions, but not to be ruled by them. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This teaching reminds us that while emotions are natural, they are not the decision-makers in our lives. We are. Through regular practice, you can train your mind to pause before responding. This pause is not a sign of weakness or hesitation, but a moment of strength. It's in this pause that you regain control over the situation. Rather than lashing out in anger, you can respond with calmness. Rather than retreating in fear, you can stand firm in your values. This ability to pause and reflect before acting is what separates a reactive mind from a responsive one. Stoicism teaches that life is filled with moments that test our emotional resilience. Every frustration, every disappointment, every moment of anger is an opportunity to practice responding rather than reacting. These moments, which may seem small in the grand scheme of things, are the building blocks of a purposeful life. With each situation where you respond thoughtfully, you strengthen your ability to stay calm and centered no matter what challenges arise. One of the most important lessons in Stoicism is the understanding that we are not defined by what happens to us, but by how we handle it. When you train your mind to respond rather than react, you're taking control of your narrative. You're no longer the victim of circumstance, but the author of your own story. This shift in perspective is incredibly empowering and allows you to face life's challenges with confidence and grace. Part of this process involves letting go of the need to control everything around you. In life, so many things are beyond your control: other people's actions, unexpected events, even the weather. Stoicism teaches that while you can't control these external factors, you can always control how you respond to them. This is where your true power lies. When you focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your responses, you free yourself from the frustration of trying to manage things that are beyond your influence. Training your mind to respond rather than react also has a profound impact on your relationships. When you react impulsively, you may say or do things that harm your connections with others. But when you take the time to respond thoughtfully, you're able to maintain harmony and understanding. Responding from a place of calmness and reason allows you to communicate more effectively, solve problems more creatively, and build stronger, more meaningful relationships. One of the key principles of Stoicism is the idea of seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. This means accepting reality without letting emotions distort your perception. Often, when we react emotionally, it's because we're resisting what is. We wish things were different, or we're upset that they didn't go our way. Stoicism teaches that by accepting reality for what it is, without judgment or resistance, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. This acceptance is not passive resignation, but a powerful form of clarity that allows you to respond more effectively to life's challenges. Another aspect of responding thoughtfully is learning to detach from outcomes. So much of our emotional turmoil comes from being overly attached to specific outcomes or expectations. When things don't go the way we planned, we react with disappointment, frustration, or anger. Stoicism teaches that while it's important to set goals and work toward them, we must also remain flexible and open to different outcomes. By detaching from the need for things to turn out a certain way, we can respond to whatever happens with grace and resilience. As you practice responding rather than reacting, you also cultivate patience. In today's fast-paced world, there's often pressure to make quick decisions and act immediately, but Stoicism reminds us that there is strength in patience. Taking the time to think things through, to weigh options, and to respond thoughtfully is not only wise, but often leads to better outcomes. Patience is a virtue that allows you to approach life's challenges with a steady hand, rather than being swept away by the urgency of the moment. Another benefit of training your mind to respond thoughtfully is the sense of peace it brings. When you react emotionally, there's often a sense of regret or frustration afterward. But when you respond with clarity and purpose, you experience a sense of calm, knowing that you acted in alignment with your values. This peace of mind is one of the greatest gifts Stoicism offers. It allows you to move through life with confidence, knowing that you're making decisions that are true to who you are. Responding rather than reacting also builds inner strength. Each time you resist the urge to react impulsively, you're strengthening your mental and emotional resilience. Over time, this resilience becomes second nature. You become less affected by external events and more grounded in your own sense of purpose. This inner strength is what enables you to face life's challenges with grace and determination. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes not from external circumstances, but from mastering your own mind. When you train yourself to respond thoughtfully, you free yourself from the tyranny of your emotions. You're no longer at the mercy of anger, fear, or frustration. Instead, you're able to rise above these emotions and act from a place of wisdom and clarity. This is the essence of Stoic freedom, the ability to choose how you respond to life, no matter what it throws your way. It's important to remember that training your mind to respond thoughtfully is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing practice. Life will continually present you with challenges, big and small, and each one is an opportunity to strengthen this skill. Over time, you'll find that you react less and respond more, that you're able to maintain your composure in even the most difficult situations. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but with dedication and practice, it will become a natural part of who you are. Responding thoughtfully also means approaching each situation with curiosity and openness. Rather than jumping to conclusions or reacting based on assumptions, You take the time to gather information and understand the situation fully. This approach not only helps you make better decisions, but also leads to deeper understanding and greater empathy for others. By staying curious and open, you're able to see things from multiple perspectives, which enriches your responses and helps you navigate life with wisdom. Another key lesson in Stoicism is the importance of maintaining a sense of balance. When you react impulsively, it's often because you've been thrown off balance by emotions or external events. But when you learn to respond thoughtfully, you're able to maintain your equilibrium, even in the face of challenges. This balance is what allows you to stay centered and focused on your purpose, no matter what's happening around you. Through Stoicism, you also learn the value of detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent, but rather developing the ability to observe your emotions without being controlled by them. Detachment allows you to step back from a situation and view it with clarity. From this place of detachment, you can respond thoughtfully, without being swept away by the emotional storm. This practice of detachment is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating inner peace and resilience. In your daily life, there will always be moments that test your ability to respond thoughtfully. These moments are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth. Each time you choose to respond with calmness and clarity, you're reinforcing the Stoic principles that lead to a purposeful life. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and you'll find that you're able to navigate even the most difficult situations with grace and strength. Responding rather than reacting also has a profound impact on your mental well-being. When you react impulsively, you're often left feeling stressed, anxious, or regretful. But when you respond thoughtfully, you experience a sense of control and peace. You're able to move through life with greater ease, knowing that you're acting in alignment with your values. This sense of well-being is one of the greatest gifts that Stoicism offers. As you continue to practice responding rather than reacting, you'll notice that your relationships improve as well. When you approach conversations and conflicts with a calm, thoughtful mindset, you create space for understanding and resolution. You're no longer reacting out of anger or frustration, but responding from a place of empathy and clarity. This shift in how you communicate strengthens your connections with others and leads to deeper, more meaningful relationships. Another important aspect of responding thoughtfully is the ability to let go of the need to be right. Often, our emotional reactions are driven by a desire to prove ourselves or win an argument. But Stoicism teaches that true wisdom lies in humility, the ability to listen, to learn, and to let go of ego. When you respond thoughtfully, you're not focused on being right, but on finding the best course of action. This humility leads to better decisions and stronger relationships. As you cultivate the habit of responding rather than reacting, you'll also develop greater self-awareness. You'll become more attuned to your thoughts, your emotions, and your triggers. This self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth. The more you understand yourself, the better equipped you are to make choices that align with your purpose. Through this process, you'll not only become more resilient, but also more connected to who you truly are. Responding thoughtfully is a practice that requires patience and persistence. There will be times when you slip up, when you react impulsively, or let emotions get the better of you. But each of these moments is an opportunity to learn and grow. Stoicism teaches that progress is not about perfection, but about continual improvement. Each day presents a new chance to practice responding rather than reacting, and each step forward brings you closer to living a life of purpose. In the end, training your mind to respond thoughtfully is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. It gives you the ability to navigate life with clarity, strength, and purpose. Through Stoicism, you learn that while you can't control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond. This realization is the key to living a life of freedom and fulfillment. As you continue on this journey, remember that each moment, each challenge, is an opportunity to practice the Stoic principles that lead to a purposeful life. By training your mind to respond rather than react, you're taking control of your destiny and aligning your actions with your highest values. This is the path to true freedom, and it's a path that will lead you to your true purpose. As we move forward from mastering the art of responding rather than reacting, the natural next step is to explore how you can harness the power of Stoicism to consistently do your best in every aspect of life. It's not about chasing perfection, but about committing yourself fully to your efforts with a calm and focused mind. Stoicism offers timeless secrets for unlocking your potential and achieving excellence in a way that feels both sustainable and deeply satisfying. Each principle is like a guidepost, leading you toward becoming the best version of yourself, not for others, but for your own growth and fulfillment. Doing your best doesn't mean exhausting yourself in pursuit of external validation. Instead, it's about aligning your actions with your values and giving your full effort in a way that brings peace, not stress. The Stoics believed that excellence is a habit, cultivated through intention and practice. When you consistently aim to do your best, you're not just working toward results, you're shaping your character. Every task, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, becomes an opportunity to refine who you are. The first secret to doing your best lies in focus. The ability to concentrate on the task at hand without letting distractions pull you away is a powerful skill. Focus is about being fully present, giving your attention to the moment without worrying about the outcome or what might come next. In Stoicism, this idea is often referred to as living in accordance with nature, fully engaging with the present moment, because it's the only one you truly control. When you cultivate focus, you can give your best to whatever you're doing without being bogged down by the anxiety of what's beyond your control. Another key principle for doing your best is discipline. Success in any area of life requires consistency, and consistency requires discipline. Stoicism teaches that you must commit to your goals and follow through with them, even when motivation fades or challenges arise. Discipline is the muscle that supports excellence. It's not about pushing yourself to the point of burnout, but about developing the inner strength to do what needs to be done, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. Over time, this discipline builds resilience and allows you to achieve your best day after day. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of self-reflection. To truly do your best, you need to be aware of where you are and where you want to go. Regular reflection allows you to assess your actions, your thoughts, and your progress. It's not about being overly critical or judgmental of yourself, but about gaining insight into how you can improve. Through self-reflection, you can identify the habits and behaviors that are holding you back and make the necessary adjustments. This process of continual improvement is a key part of the Stoic pursuit of excellence. Doing your best also means embracing challenges. Stoicism teaches that obstacles are not something to be avoided, but welcomed. Each challenge presents an opportunity to grow stronger, to refine your abilities, and to become more resilient. When you approach difficulties with the mindset that they are helping you sharpen your skills, you are more likely to give your best effort, even in tough situations. Challenges become stepping stones toward mastery, rather than roadblocks that prevent progress. Another Stoic secret to doing your best is learning to let go of outcomes. In our culture, we're often told that success is defined by results, but Stoicism teaches that the process is what truly matters. You don't control the outcome, whether you succeed or fail, but you do control your effort. When you focus on giving your best without attachment to the results, you free yourself from the anxiety of failure or the pressure to achieve. This mindset allows you to work with more clarity and less stress, knowing that as long as you've done your best, the outcome is secondary. Excellence also requires patience. In a world that often demands instant results, Stoicism reminds us that doing your best is a long-term commitment. Growth and mastery take time, and patience is essential to stay the course. Whether it's learning a new skill, building a career, or developing meaningful relationships, true success doesn't happen overnight. By cultivating patience, you give yourself the grace to keep working, even when progress seems slow or setbacks occur. Patience allows you to continue doing your best, trusting that the results will come in time. Humility is another important aspect of doing your best. The Stoics believed that arrogance and pride get in the way of true excellence. When you're overly focused on proving yourself to others or inflating your own ego, you lose sight of what really matters: improving yourself. Humility opens the door to learning, growth, and self-awareness. It allows you to admit when you're wrong, seek advice when needed, and continually strive to be better. Humility keeps you grounded, focused on the journey of self-improvement rather than on accolades or external praise. In addition to humility, gratitude plays a crucial role in doing your best. Stoicism teaches that we should be grateful for the opportunities we have, no matter how small they may seem. When you approach life with a sense of gratitude, you're more likely to give your best effort because you recognize the value in what you're doing. Gratitude shifts your perspective from one of lack to one of abundance, reminding you that every moment is an opportunity to grow, learn, and improve. Another secret to doing your best is emotional regulation. The Stoics were masters at managing their emotions, understanding that unchecked emotions can cloud judgment and interfere with performance. Doing your best requires a calm, clear mind, one that is not easily swayed by anger, frustration, or anxiety. When you learn to manage your emotions, you can approach challenges with greater clarity and make decisions that are in line with your goals. This emotional stability is key to maintaining excellence in all areas of life. Focus, discipline, self-reflection, and emotional regulation are essential, but so is the ability to adapt. Life is constantly changing, and to do your best, you must be flexible enough to adapt to new circumstances. Stoicism teaches that change is a natural part of life, and rather than resisting it, we should embrace it. When you're adaptable, you can pivot when things don't go as planned and find new ways to achieve your goals. This flexibility ensures that you can continue doing your best, even when life throws unexpected challenges your way. Another vital aspect of doing your best is developing a strong sense of purpose. Stoicism teaches that purpose is what drives us to strive for excellence. When you have a clear sense of why you're doing something, it becomes easier to give your best effort. Purpose provides direction and motivation, helping you stay focused even when the going gets tough. When you're aligned with your purpose, your best effort comes naturally because you're working towards something that truly matters to you. While it's important to have a sense of purpose, it's equally important to avoid perfectionism. Stoicism teaches that striving for perfection is not only unrealistic, but counterproductive. The goal is not to be perfect, but to give your best effort within your limitations. Perfectionism often leads to frustration and burnout because it sets unattainable standards. Instead, focus on progress, on being better today than you were yesterday. This mindset allows you to keep improving without the pressure of perfection. Another Stoic principle that helps you do your best is learning to detach from external validation. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval from others, but Stoicism teaches that true fulfillment comes from within. When you're doing your best, it shouldn't be for the praise or recognition of others, but for your own sense of growth and integrity. External validation is fleeting, but the satisfaction that comes from knowing you've given your best effort is lasting. This inner validation is what drives true excellence. In addition to detachment from external validation, Stoicism also teaches the importance of cultivating resilience. Life will inevitably present setbacks, failures, and disappointments, but these are not reasons to give up. Instead, they are opportunities to build resilience. When you face difficulties with a Stoic mindset, you learn to see them as part of the process of growth. Each setback is a lesson, each failure a stepping stone towards success. Resilience is what allows you to keep doing your best, even in the face of adversity. A key component of resilience is self-compassion. While Stoicism emphasizes discipline and strength, it also teaches the importance of being kind to yourself. Doing your best doesn't mean being hard on yourself when things don't go as planned. It means recognizing that you are human, that mistakes are part of the journey, and that self-compassion is essential for long-term growth. When you treat yourself with kindness, you create the emotional space needed to continue giving your best effort, even after setbacks. Stoicism also teaches that doing your best requires simplicity. In a world filled with distractions and noise, simplicity allows you to focus on what truly matters. By stripping away the unnecessary and focusing on the essentials, you free up mental and emotional energy to give your best effort. Simplicity brings clarity, and clarity allows you to see where your efforts are best directed. When you focus on the few things that matter most, you can excel in those areas without being overwhelmed by the clutter of life. Another secret to doing your best is knowing when to rest. While Stoicism teaches discipline and perseverance, it also recognizes the importance of rest and recovery. Doing your best doesn't mean working non-stop. It means knowing when to take a break so that you can come back stronger. Rest is essential for maintaining the energy and focus needed to continue giving your best effort. Without it, burnout becomes inevitable and your performance suffers. Stoicism teaches balance, and that balance includes rest as part of the journey to excellence. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of controlling what you can control. Often, we waste energy worrying about things beyond our control, which detracts from our ability to do our best. By focusing only on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your responses, you channel your energy into productive efforts. This focus ensures that you're not distracted by things you can't influence, allowing you to give your full effort where it matters most. Doing your best also requires a sense of curiosity. Stoicism encourages a lifelong commitment to learning and growth. When you're curious, you're constantly seeking new knowledge and skills, which helps you improve over time. Curiosity keeps you engaged and motivated, ensuring that you never become complacent. It's this desire to learn and grow that drives you to continue doing your best, even as you reach new levels of achievement. Another Stoic principle that contributes to doing your best is the understanding that you are part of a greater whole. Stoicism teaches that we are all interconnected, and our actions have an impact on others. When you approach your work and life with the awareness that your efforts contribute to the greater good, it becomes easier to give your best. This sense of interconnectedness provides motivation and purpose, reminding you that your efforts matter not just for yourself, but for the world around you. The Stoics also believed in the importance of gratitude. When you're grateful for the opportunities you have, you're more likely to give your best effort. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, and this positive mindset fuels your motivation. When you approach life with a sense of gratitude, Every task becomes an opportunity to grow and improve. This mindset of abundance encourages you to give your best in everything you do. Another key to doing your best is embracing failure as a teacher. Stoicism teaches that failure is not something to fear, but something to learn from. When you fail, it's not a reflection of your worth or abilities. It's simply part of the process of growth. Each failure contains valuable lessons that can help you improve and do better next time. By embracing failure with a Stoic set, you free yourself from the fear of making mistakes and open yourself up to continuous improvement. Doing your best also requires mindfulness. Stoicism teaches that being fully present in the moment is essential for giving your best effort. When your mind is scattered, thinking about the past or worrying about the future, you're not able to give your full attention to the task at hand. Mindfulness brings you back to the present, allowing you to focus fully on what you're doing. This presence of mind is what allows you to perform at your highest level. In Stoicism, there's also a focus on service. Doing your best is not just about personal achievement, it's about how you can contribute to the well-being of others. When you approach your efforts with a mindset of service, you're motivated not just by personal gain, but by the desire to make a positive impact on the world. This sense of purpose and service fuels your efforts, pushing you to do your best, not just for yourself, but for those around you. One of the final secrets to doing your best is perseverance. Stoicism teaches that true success comes from the ability to keep going, even when the journey is difficult. Perseverance is the steady, unwavering commitment to your goals, no matter what obstacles arise. It's the ability to keep giving your best effort, day after day, even when progress is slow or setbacks occur. Perseverance is the foundation of excellence, and it's what allows you to achieve your best in the long run. Doing your best is a lifelong commitment to growth, learning, and improvement. It's not about perfection or instant success, but about consistently striving to be better, to do better, and to live in alignment with your values. Through Stoicism, you can cultivate the mindset and habits that allow you to give your best effort in everything you do, leading to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and true excellence. As we move forward from learning how to give your best in every aspect of life, it's crucial to recognize that there are times when even your best isn't enough, not because of your efforts, but because of the people around you. Stoicism teaches that relationships play a significant role in shaping who we are, but not all relationships are meant to last. Sometimes, the hardest thing to do is to walk away from people, even those closest to us, because they no longer serve our growth. Whether it's a friend, a partner, or even family, knowing when to end a relationship is essential for maintaining inner peace and staying true to yourself. Relationships are meant to uplift and support, but when they start to drain your energy or push you away from your values, it's a sign that they may be doing more harm than good. Stoicism teaches that the people we surround ourselves with can either help us stay aligned with our principles or lead us astray. One of the first signs that a relationship should end is if it consistently causes you emotional turmoil. If being around someone regularly brings you stress, anxiety, or sadness, it may be a sign that the relationship is no longer healthy. Stoicism encourages emotional resilience, but it also emphasizes the importance of protecting your mental well-being by removing negative influences from your life. Another sign is when a relationship consistently pulls you away from your purpose. Relationships should help you grow, not distract you from your goals. If you find that being around certain people causes you to lose focus, or if they encourage behaviors that go against your values, it's a clear indication that they are hindering your progress. Stoicism teaches that you must stay true to your purpose, and sometimes that means distancing yourself from those who derail your path. It's not about blaming others, but about recognizing when a relationship no longer aligns with your pursuit of excellence. Toxic behaviors are another clear indicator that a relationship should end. When someone is manipulative, controlling, or consistently disrespectful, it's a sign that the relationship is unhealthy. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control how others behave, but we can control how we respond. Ending a relationship with someone who engages in toxic behaviors is not an act of retaliation, but a necessary step in protecting your peace and emotional well-being. You deserve to be surrounded by people who treat you with respect and kindness. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of mutual respect in relationships. When respect is lost, the foundation of any relationship crumbles. If you find that a person regularly disrespects your boundaries, belittles your opinions, or dismisses your feelings, it's a sign that the relationship is no longer healthy. Respect is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, and without it, a relationship cannot thrive. It's important to set clear boundaries, and if they are continually violated, to walk away. Another sign that a relationship may need to end is if there is a constant imbalance in giving and taking. Relationships should involve mutual support, but if you find yourself always giving without receiving anything in return, it can lead to resentment and exhaustion. Stoicism teaches the importance of balance and fairness in relationships. You should not feel drained or used by those around you. If someone constantly takes from you without giving anything back, whether it's emotional support, time, or effort, it may be time to reconsider the relationship. A lack of honesty is another key reason to end a relationship. Trust is the foundation of any healthy connection, and without it, the relationship cannot survive. If you find that someone repeatedly lies to you or hides important things, it undermines the trust that holds the relationship together. Stoicism values truth and integrity, and maintaining relationships built on deceit goes against these core principles. Ending a relationship with someone who is dishonest may be difficult, but it's necessary for preserving your own integrity. Another sign that a relationship should end is if the person consistently brings out the worst in you. If someone triggers your anger, insecurity, or frustration regularly, it's a sign that the relationship is not bringing out your best self. Stoicism teaches that we should strive to be the best version of ourselves, and that often means surrounding ourselves with people who encourage growth and self-improvement. If a relationship brings out negative traits in you, it's time to consider whether it's worth maintaining. Jealousy and competition are also indicators of a toxic relationship. Healthy relationships are based on mutual support and encouragement, not envy or competition. If someone in your life consistently tries to one-up you, undermines your success, or makes you feel small for your accomplishments, it's a sign that the relationship is rooted in negativity. Stoicism teaches that we should seek relationships that uplift us, not ones that breed jealousy or competition. Letting go of these types of relationships allows you to focus on your own growth without unnecessary distractions. Manipulation is another toxic trait that should never be tolerated in any relationship. If someone frequently tries to manipulate your emotions, decisions, or actions for their own benefit, it's a clear sign that the relationship is unhealthy. Stoicism teaches that we must guard our autonomy and not allow others to control or influence us in harmful ways. Ending a relationship with someone who manipulates you is an act of reclaiming your power and protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Another key sign is if a relationship is filled with negativity or pessimism. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of maintaining a positive mindset, and surrounding yourself with negative people can drain your energy and lead to a negative outlook on life. If someone in your life constantly complains, criticizes, or sees the worst in every situation, it's likely that their negativity is affecting you. Ending relationships with negative people allows you to focus on cultivating a more positive and resilient mindset. Additionally, if you find that a relationship is no longer fulfilling or bringing you joy, it may be time to let go. Stoicism teaches that relationships should bring value to your life, not burden you with unnecessary emotional weight. If you feel that a relationship has run its course and no longer adds meaning or happiness to your life, it's okay to walk away. Ending a relationship doesn't have to be a sign of failure. Sometimes it's simply a recognition that you've both grown in different directions. Another reason to end a relationship is when it becomes clear that the other person is unwilling to grow or change. Stoicism values personal growth and self-improvement, and being in a relationship with someone who resists growth can hold you back from your own development. If someone refuses to acknowledge their harmful behaviors or make efforts to improve themselves, it's a sign that the relationship is no longer healthy. Letting go of people who are stuck in destructive patterns allows you to continue your journey of self-improvement without being weighed down by their resistance. One of the most important lessons in Stoicism is the value of emotional detachment. If a relationship is causing you emotional pain, it's a sign that it may no longer be serving your well-being. Detaching from relationships that cause more harm than good is not an act of coldness, but of self-care. Stoicism teaches that we must prioritize our mental and emotional health, and sometimes that means walking away from people who consistently bring negativity into our lives. Another crucial sign is when someone consistently undermines your confidence or self-worth. Relationships should build you up, not tear you down. If someone in your life is constantly making you doubt yourself or feel inadequate, it's a sign that the relationship is toxic. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-respect, and maintaining relationships with people who make you feel small is a violation of that principle. Ending such relationships is an act of reclaiming your confidence and self-worth. Stoicism also teaches that relationships should be based on mutual understanding and respect. If you find that a relationship is full of misunderstandings, conflict, or a lack of communication, it may be a sign that it's no longer healthy. Constant conflict and miscommunication can lead to emotional exhaustion and frustration. Relationships should bring peace, not constant turmoil. If a relationship feels like an ongoing battle, it may be time to consider ending it. Another sign to watch for is if someone in your life regularly pressures you to compromise your values. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living in alignment with your principles, and any relationship that encourages you to act against your values is unhealthy. If you find yourself in situations where you're constantly asked to go against what you believe in, it's a clear sign that the relationship is not serving your best interests. Ending these relationships allows you to stay true to yourself and your core beliefs. Additionally, if someone in your life is emotionally unavailable or distant, it may be a sign that the relationship is no longer working. Stoicism teaches that relationships should be built on connection and mutual support. If you find that the other person is not emotionally present or engaged, it can create feelings of isolation and frustration. Relationships require effort from both parties. If one person is not willing to invest in the connection, it may be time to let go. A lack of growth is another reason to end a relationship. Relationships should help both people grow and evolve, but if you find that a relationship is stagnant or holding you back, it may be time to move on. Stoicism teaches that personal growth is essential for a fulfilling life, and relationships that no longer foster growth can become a hindrance. Letting go of relationships that keep you stuck allows you to pursue your own development and reach your full potential. Another sign that a relationship should end is if it is based on superficial or materialistic values. Stoicism teaches that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external possessions or status. If you find that a relationship is built on shallow or materialistic foundations, it's unlikely to bring lasting happiness. Ending these relationships allows you to focus on deeper, more meaningful connections that align with your values. If someone in your life is constantly critical or judgmental, it's a sign that the relationship may be toxic. Stoicism teaches the importance of compassion and kindness, and relationships should reflect these values. Constant criticism can erode your self-esteem and create feelings of inadequacy. It's important to surround yourself with people who lift you up, not tear you down. Ending relationships with overly critical individuals allows you to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Another key sign is when a relationship feels one-sided. Relationships should involve mutual effort and support, but if you find that you're always the one making sacrifices or putting in the work, it can create feelings of resentment. Stoicism teaches the importance of fairness and balance in relationships. If someone is not willing to put in the same effort, it may be time to let go. If a relationship is causing you to compromise your sense of peace, it's a sign that it may no longer be healthy. Stoicism teaches that inner peace is one of the most valuable assets we have, and any relationship that disrupts that peace is not worth maintaining. If you find that a relationship is constantly causing you stress, anxiety, or discomfort, it's time to reconsider its place in your life. Stoicism emphasizes that walking away from unhealthy relationships is not an act of selfishness, but of self-preservation. It's about protecting your peace, your values, and your emotional well-being. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to let go of relationships that no longer serve you, allowing you to move forward on your path to growth and fulfillment. As we step away from understanding the signs that a relationship should end, it's crucial to recognize that some people go beyond being unhealthy for us. They can be truly harmful, even malicious. In Stoicism, there's a clear emphasis on protecting one's soul from the influence of those whose actions and intentions are destructive. Not everyone we encounter in life means well, and some people's behavior can be outright dangerous, not just to our peace of mind, but to our moral compass. These are individuals who consistently act out of self-interest, manipulation, and deceit, with no regard for the harm they cause others. Learning to recognize the signs that you're dealing with such a person is essential for safeguarding your well-being. One of the clearest signs that you may be dealing with a truly harmful individual is their consistent dishonesty. Lies are more than just untruths. They are a deliberate attempt to distort reality for personal gain. In Stoicism, truth is a fundamental virtue because living in accordance with nature means seeing the world clearly, without delusion or deceit. A person who lies regularly does so to control others, to manipulate circumstances in their favor, and to avoid accountability. They create a web of falsehoods, making it hard for others to trust them or to see things as they really are. This erosion of trust is one of the first signs that someone's presence in your life may be deeply damaging. Another clear indicator of a harmful individual is their lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, and it is a cornerstone of healthy, compassionate relationships. Stoicism teaches the importance of considering the impact of our actions on those around us, yet someone who lacks empathy is unable to see beyond their own desires. They will hurt others without remorse because they do not truly care how their actions affect the people around them. A lack of empathy leads to cruelty, manipulation, and a profound disregard for others' well-being. Being around such a person can leave you feeling emotionally drained and questioning your own worth. A third sign to look out for is consistent manipulation. This goes beyond simple dishonesty. Manipulation is about controlling others to achieve one's own ends, often at great cost to those being manipulated. A manipulative person will use guilt, fear, and other emotional tactics to bend people to their will. They may seem charming or persuasive at first, but over time, their true nature reveals itself. Stoicism teaches that we must be wary of those who seek to control others, for this behavior goes against the principle of mutual respect and personal autonomy. The manipulator's goal is always to dominate, and they will do whatever it takes to get what they want. Another deeply troubling sign is an individual's delight in others' suffering. In Stoicism, one of the greatest virtues is the pursuit of justice and the well-being of others. A person who finds joy in causing pain or who is indifferent to the suffering they cause is someone whose moral compass is fundamentally broken. This type of person may act out of malice, seeking to bring others down to elevate themselves. Their cruelty may not always be obvious at first, but their patterns of behavior, repeatedly causing harm without remorse, reveal a darker nature. Being around such a person is dangerous not only for your emotional health, but also for your moral integrity. The final and perhaps most chilling sign is the absolute absence of guilt or shame. Stoicism teaches that we all make mistakes, but a key aspect of personal growth is the ability to recognize when we've done wrong and to seek to make amends. However, a truly harmful person feels no guilt for their actions, no matter how destructive they are. They may apologize when it serves their interests, but their remorse is always shallow and self-serving. They do not experience genuine regret, because their moral framework is skewed towards self-preservation and personal gain at any cost. This lack of conscience is what makes them so dangerous. They are unbound by the ethical considerations that guide most people. In the presence of such a person, the air itself feels heavier, the space more suffocating. Their words and actions erode your sense of security, peace, and even your belief in the goodness of people. But it's vital to recognize that you are not powerless in the face of this malevolence. Stoicism teaches the importance of removing yourself from harmful influences, and that includes cutting ties with people who show these signs. Protecting your moral and emotional well-being is not just a matter of personal survival, but of ensuring that your soul remains untainted by the poison such individuals spread. One of the things that can make it difficult to recognize these signs is that harmful people often wear a mask of charm or likability at first. They may present themselves as kind, generous, or even selfless, but these qualities are often a front to gain trust and manipulate others more easily. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of seeing people as they truly are, not as they appear to be. Pay attention to inconsistencies between their words and actions, and to the way they treat others, especially when they think no one is watching. It's often in these small, unnoticed moments that their true character is revealed. Another reason it can be hard to recognize these signs is that such people often prey on your goodwill. They rely on your compassion, your tendency to give people the benefit of the doubt, or your hope that they will change. Stoicism teaches that while we should strive to be kind and understanding, we must also be wise. This means not allowing ourselves to be repeatedly harmed in the name of giving someone another chance. A person who has shown themselves to be consistently dishonest, manipulative, or cruel is unlikely to change without significant personal growth, and that growth cannot happen if they refuse to acknowledge their wrongdoings. It's important to note that removing yourself from the presence of a harmful person doesn't mean you are acting out of hatred or anger. Stoicism teaches that we should always act in accordance with virtue, and this includes acting with dignity and grace, even when faced with someone who has wronged us. Walking away from a destructive person is not an act of vengeance, it is an act of self-preservation. It is about maintaining your peace of mind, protecting your integrity, and ensuring that you are surrounded by people who uplift rather than degrade you. One of the most damaging effects of being around a harmful person is the erosion of your sense of self. Over time, their manipulation, deceit, and cruelty can make you question your own worth and judgment. This is why Stoicism places such a strong emphasis on self-reflection and inner strength. By regularly reflecting on your own values and actions, you can remain grounded, even in the face of someone who seeks to destabilize you. The Stoic practice of journaling, for example, is a powerful tool for maintaining clarity and perspective, helping you recognize when someone is manipulating or harming you. Stoicism also teaches that it is important to not internalize the behavior of harmful people. When someone treats you with cruelty or disrespect, it is a reflection of their character, not yours. This understanding can be liberating, as it allows you to detach from their behavior and not take it personally. It is their moral failing, not yours. By maintaining this perspective, you can protect your inner peace and avoid being drawn into their toxic patterns. Another crucial lesson from Stoicism is the importance of boundaries. Setting clear boundaries with people who exhibit harmful behaviors is essential for protecting your well-being. These boundaries can be emotional, physical, or even logistical, limiting your interactions with them or cutting off contact entirely if necessary. Boundaries are not about punishment, but about self-respect. By setting and enforcing boundaries, you assert your right to be treated with dignity and respect, and you send a clear message that you will not tolerate behavior that harms you. One of the challenges of dealing with harmful people is that they often refuse to take responsibility for their actions. They may blame others, make excuses, or deny that they've done anything wrong. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond. When faced with someone who refuses to take accountability, it's important to remain calm and composed. Do not waste your energy trying to make them see the error of their ways. Focus instead on protecting yourself and moving forward. Another aspect of dealing with harmful people is learning to recognize when you are being gaslighted. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation where someone tries to make you doubt your own perceptions or reality. A harmful person may tell you that you're overreacting, that what you experienced didn't happen the way you remembered, or that you're being too sensitive. Stoicism teaches that we must trust our own judgment and not allow others to distort our sense of reality. Stay firm in your beliefs and do not allow them to undermine your sense of truth. Stoicism also teaches the value of forgiveness, but it's important to understand that forgiveness does not mean allowing someone to continue harming you. Forgiveness is about letting go of resentment and anger, freeing yourself from the emotional burden of holding on to pain. However, it does not mean you must maintain a relationship with the person who hurt you. You can forgive someone in your heart while still removing them from your life if they pose a threat to your well-being. It's also important to remember that not everyone who displays harmful behavior is beyond help. Some people act out of pain, trauma, or insecurity, and they may be capable of growth and change if they are willing to do the necessary work. Stoicism teaches compassion and understanding, but it also emphasizes the importance of discernment. It is not your responsibility to fix or save someone who is determined to remain in their harmful ways. Your primary duty is to protect your own well-being and to ensure that you are surrounded by people who contribute positively to your life. In dealing with harmful people, it's essential to cultivate inner strength and resilience. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, and that no one can take your peace of mind unless you allow them to. By focusing on your own growth, maintaining your values, and practicing self-care, you can protect yourself from the negative influence of harmful individuals. This inner strength is what allows you to walk away with your head held high, knowing that you have done what is best for your own well-being. One of the most powerful tools Stoicism offers in dealing with harmful people is emotional detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent, but rather learning to separate your emotions from the actions of others. When you can detach emotionally from someone's harmful behavior, you are less likely to be affected by it. This detachment allows you to respond calmly and rationally, rather than reacting out of anger or frustration. It gives you the clarity to make decisions that are in your best interest, rather than being swayed by emotional manipulation. Another valuable Stoic practice is focusing on what is within your control. When dealing with a harmful person, it's easy to become frustrated by their behavior and wish that they would change. However, Stoicism teaches that we cannot control others, only ourselves. By accepting this truth, you free yourself from the frustration of trying to change someone who refuses to change. Instead, focus on controlling your own actions, decisions, and responses. This shift in focus empowers you to take control of your life, regardless of how others behave. Stoicism also encourages the practice of self-compassion. It's easy to feel guilty or ashamed for having allowed a harmful person into your life. But Stoicism teaches that mistakes are part of the human experience. What matters is how you respond to those mistakes. Be kind to yourself as you navigate the process of removing harmful people from your life. Recognize that it takes strength and courage to walk away, and give yourself credit for making the difficult decision to protect your well-being. Dealing with a harmful person is never easy, but Stoicism offers a wealth of wisdom for navigating these challenging relationships. By recognizing the signs of harmful behavior, setting boundaries, cultivating inner strength, and focusing on what is within your control, you can protect yourself from the negative influence of these individuals. Stoicism teaches that your peace of mind and moral integrity are worth safeguarding, and sometimes that means walking away from people who do not respect or value you. In doing so, you reclaim your power and create space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships in your life. After understanding the dangers of harmful people and the importance of distancing yourself from their influence, it becomes clear that the next step is turning your focus inward. Too often, we expend our energy on external situations and people, hoping to fix or change things beyond our control. But Stoicism teaches a powerful truth. When you focus on yourself, everything else begins to fall into place. By concentrating on your own growth, your own thoughts, and your own actions, you create a ripple effect that transforms your life from the inside out. This shift is not selfish, but a necessary act of self-care and empowerment. When you focus on yourself, you start to recognize that the only thing you truly have control over is your own mind. Stoicism emphasizes that we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. By directing your attention inward, you begin to take ownership of your thoughts and emotions. This internal focus gives you the ability to cultivate calmness and clarity, even when the world around you is chaotic. You learn to trust your own judgment and build confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Focusing on yourself also means prioritizing your well-being. In a world where we're constantly encouraged to meet the needs of others or live up to societal expectations, it can feel indulgent to put yourself first. But Stoicism teaches that self-care is essential for living a purposeful life. When you take care of your physical, mental, and emotional health, you are better equipped to face challenges, make sound decisions, and contribute positively to those around you. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and by focusing on yourself, you ensure that you are replenished and ready for life's demands. A key element of focusing on yourself is learning to silence the noise of external opinions. We live in a world where it's easy to get caught up in what others think of us. Social media, peer pressure, and even family expectations can cloud our judgment and make us doubt ourselves. Stoicism teaches that the opinions of others are beyond our control and should not dictate how we live. When you focus on yourself, you free yourself from the need for validation. You become more confident in your decisions and more comfortable with living in alignment with your values, regardless of what others think. In focusing on yourself, you also begin to set clearer boundaries. Boundaries are not about shutting others out, but about protecting your energy and ensuring that you have the space to grow. By establishing boundaries, you make it clear to yourself and others what you will and will not tolerate in your life. Stoicism teaches that we must take responsibility for our own well-being, and setting boundaries is a crucial part of this process. It allows you to focus on what truly matters and to remove distractions that pull you away from your path. Another powerful outcome of focusing on yourself is that you become more in tune with your purpose. When you stop being distracted by the external noise and the needs of others, you gain the clarity to ask yourself important questions. What do you truly want from life? What are your values? What brings you joy? Stoicism teaches that living in alignment with your purpose is essential for a fulfilling life. By focusing inward, you give yourself the space to discover and pursue your true purpose without being swayed by external pressures. Focusing on yourself also means taking responsibility for your actions. It's easy to blame others or circumstances for our problems, but Stoicism teaches that we must be accountable for our own behavior. When you focus on yourself, you stop making excuses and start taking ownership of your choices. This shift in mindset empowers you to make changes where necessary and to learn from your mistakes. It's a liberating experience because it puts you in the driver's seat of your own life, no longer a victim of circumstance, but the author of your own story. Another important aspect of focusing on yourself is embracing solitude. In a culture that often values constant social interaction, it can be difficult to spend time alone without feeling isolated. But Stoicism teaches that solitude is not only necessary, but beneficial for self-reflection and personal growth. When you spend time alone, you can hear your own thoughts more clearly and assess your life without external distractions. Solitude allows you to reconnect with yourself and to understand your needs, desires, and goals on a deeper level. By focusing on yourself, you also develop greater emotional resilience. When you stop depending on others for your sense of worth or happiness, you build an internal foundation that is unshakable. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, and by focusing on yourself, you cultivate this inner strength. You become less reactive to external events, more grounded in your values, and better equipped to handle adversity. This resilience allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and poise, knowing that your happiness and peace of mind are not dependent on anything outside of yourself. In addition, focusing on yourself helps you to eliminate unnecessary stress. So much of our anxiety comes from trying to control things that are beyond our reach. Other people's actions, outcomes we cannot predict, or circumstances we cannot change. Stoicism teaches that by focusing on what is within your control, your thoughts, actions, and reactions, you can free yourself from this stress. When you stop worrying about what you cannot control and focus on managing your own mind and behavior, you create a sense of peace and clarity that allows you to move through life with greater ease. Focusing on yourself also brings with it the gift of self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on yourself, especially when you make mistakes or fall short of your goals. But Stoicism teaches that we must treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, just as we would treat a friend. When you focus on yourself, you learn to forgive your own imperfections and to recognize that growth is a process. This self-compassion creates the emotional space you need to keep striving for better without the burden of self-criticism weighing you down. Another powerful effect of focusing on yourself is the development of self-discipline. When you stop being distracted by the opinions and demands of others, you gain the focus needed to commit to your own growth. Stoicism teaches that self-discipline is the foundation of personal excellence. It allows you to set goals and stick to them, even when motivation fades or obstacles arise. By focusing on yourself, you build the habits and routines that lead to long-term success, and you become more disciplined in every area of your life. Focusing on yourself also leads to greater clarity in decision-making. When you are constantly seeking approval from others or trying to live up to external expectations, it's easy to lose sight of what you truly want. But when you turn your attention inward, you gain the clarity needed to make decisions that align with your values and goals. Stoicism teaches that clear thinking is essential for a purposeful life, and by focusing on yourself, you create the mental space necessary for thoughtful, intentional decision-making. Another benefit of focusing on yourself is that it enhances your ability to build healthier relationships. While it may seem counterintuitive, the more you focus on yourself, the better you become at relating to others. This is because when you are secure in yourself, you no longer seek validation or approval from others. You can approach relationships from a place of strength rather than neediness. Stoicism teaches that true relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, and when you focus on yourself, you cultivate these qualities within yourself, which in turn allows you to form deeper, more authentic connections with others. Focusing on yourself also leads to a greater sense of gratitude. When you stop comparing yourself to others and start appreciating your own journey, you develop a deeper appreciation for your life as it is. Stoicism teaches that contentment comes from within, not from external achievements or possessions. By focusing on yourself, you learn to find joy in the present moment and to be grateful for the progress you've made. This sense of gratitude not only brings more peace into your life, but also fuels your continued growth. Another important lesson that comes from focusing on yourself is the recognition of your own power. Too often, we give away our power by allowing others to dictate how we feel or what we do. But Stoicism teaches that true power comes from within, from your ability to control your own thoughts, actions, and emotions. When you focus on yourself, you reclaim this power. You stop being reactive to the world around you and start acting with intention. This sense of empowerment allows you to live more confidently and to pursue your goals without fear. Focusing on yourself also helps you to cultivate mindfulness. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle, constantly thinking about the future or dwelling on the past. But Stoicism teaches that the present moment is all we truly have. By focusing on yourself, you learn to be more mindful of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. This mindfulness allows you to live more fully in the present, to appreciate each moment as it comes, and to make more thoughtful choices. Another powerful result of focusing on yourself is the development of emotional intelligence. When you take the time to understand your own thoughts and feelings, you become better equipped to navigate your emotions. Stoicism teaches that emotional mastery is key to living a peaceful life. By focusing inward, you learn to manage your emotions in a way that serves your growth, rather than allowing them to control you. This emotional intelligence not only improves your relationship with yourself, but also enhances your interactions with others. Focusing on yourself also means embracing personal responsibility. Stoicism teaches that we are responsible for our own lives and that blaming others or external circumstances only weakens us. When you focus on yourself, you stop making excuses and start taking ownership of your actions and decisions. This sense of responsibility empowers you to create the life you want, rather than waiting for others to change or for circumstances to improve. It's a liberating realization that puts you in control of your destiny. Another key benefit of focusing on yourself is that it helps you develop a growth mindset. Instead of seeing challenges or setbacks as failures, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Stoicism teaches that adversity is a natural part of life and that how we respond to it determines our character. By focusing on yourself, you develop the resilience and determination needed to keep growing, even in the face of difficulties. This growth mindset allows you to continue evolving and improving throughout your life. Focusing on yourself also brings with it the ability to live with greater intention. Instead of drifting through life, reacting to whatever comes your way, you become more deliberate in your actions. Stoicism teaches that living with intention is essential for a meaningful life. When you focus on yourself, you set clear goals, align your actions with your values, and make choices that reflect who you truly are. This intentionality creates a sense of purpose and direction that leads to greater fulfillment. Another outcome of focusing on yourself is that you begin to trust yourself more. When you stop seeking validation from others and start relying on your own judgment, you build confidence in your ability to navigate life's challenges. Stoicism teaches that self-trust is the foundation of inner peace. By focusing on yourself, you learn to listen to your intuition, to make decisions with confidence, and to trust that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. As you focus on yourself, you also develop greater resilience. Life is full of challenges, but Stoicism teaches that resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, but about facing them with strength and grace. When you focus inward, you build the mental and emotional fortitude needed to weather life's storms. This resilience allows you to keep moving forward, even when the path is difficult, and to come out stronger on the other side. Another benefit of focusing on yourself is the ability to create a life that is authentically yours. Too often, we live according to the expectations of others, following paths that don't truly align with who we are. But when you focus on yourself, you gain the clarity and courage needed to forge your own path. Stoicism teaches that living in accordance with your true self is the key to a fulfilling life. By focusing inward, you discover what truly matters to you and take steps to build a life that reflects your values, passions, and goals. And focus emotional intelligence and inner peace, all of which empower you to navigate the world with confidence and grace. As Stoicism teaches, the key to a meaningful life lies within you, and by focusing on yourself, you unlock your true potential. Having explored the power of focusing on yourself, it's now essential to understand how the people around you impact that focus. Stoicism teaches that while we should strive to treat others with kindness and respect, there are certain types of people whose presence can be detrimental to your well-being and growth. These individuals, through their actions, behaviors, or mindsets, create obstacles that hinder your progress. It's not about being harsh or judgmental, but about setting firm boundaries to protect your inner peace. Sometimes saying no to certain types of people is the most empowering thing you can do for yourself. One type of person you should always say no to is the chronic complainer. This individual constantly focuses on the negative aspects of life, always finding something to criticize or complain about. Their energy is draining because they rarely offer solutions or constructive perspectives. Stoicism teaches the importance of focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. Chronic complainers do the opposite. They fixate on problems without seeking ways to improve or move forward. Being around them can pull you into a negative mindset, distracting you from your own goals and peace of mind. Another type to avoid is the manipulator. Manipulative people use others for their own benefit, often without concern for the harm they cause. They twist words, guilt trip, and play mind games to get what they want. Stoicism values honesty, integrity, and autonomy, and manipulators violate these principles. They try to bend your will to serve their interests, making you question your own judgment. By saying no to manipulative people, you protect your sense of self and maintain control over your decisions, ensuring that your actions align with your values rather than someone else's agenda. You should also distance yourself from the envious. Envy is a destructive emotion, and people who are consumed by it often try to bring others down to their level. Instead of celebrating your successes, they resent them. They may try to sabotage your efforts or belittle your achievements to make themselves feel better. Stoicism teaches that we should strive for excellence and be content with our own progress, not compare ourselves to others. The envious person lives in a constant state of comparison, and their bitterness can seep into your own mindset if you're not careful. Saying no to envious people allows you to remain focused on your own journey without being dragged into their insecurities. Another person to avoid is the drama addict. This person thrives on chaos and conflict, constantly stirring up problems where none exist. They create unnecessary tension and enjoy the spectacle of emotional turmoil. Stoicism emphasizes calmness, composure, and emotional stability. Being around someone who is addicted to drama undermines your ability to maintain that stability. Their constant need for conflict can make you feel as though you're always walking on eggshells, which distracts you from your purpose and drains your energy. Saying no to the drama addict helps you preserve your inner peace. The critic is another individual you should avoid. This person is never satisfied, always finding fault in others while rarely acknowledging their own flaws. Constructive feedback is valuable, but the critic goes beyond that, seeking to tear down rather than build up. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-improvement and growth, but it also recognizes the value of self-compassion. The constant criticism from this type of person can erode your self-confidence and make you second-guess your choices. Saying no to the critic allows you to maintain your self-respect and focus on improving at your own pace, without the weight of unnecessary negativity. Another person to steer clear of is the gossiper. Gossip is toxic because it spreads negativity and distrust, often at the expense of others. The gossiper thrives on sharing harmful stories or secrets, even if it's none of their business. Stoicism teaches the importance of truth and integrity, and engaging in gossip goes against these values. When you associate with a gossiper, you risk being pulled into a cycle of rumors and lies, which can damage your reputation and relationships. Saying no to the gossiper not only protects your integrity, but also keeps you focused on what truly matters. The next type to avoid is the one who lacks ambition. While everyone has their own pace and path in life, people who consistently lack drive or motivation can have a draining effect on those around them. Stoicism teaches that we should strive to make the most of our potential, constantly seeking to improve ourselves. Being around someone who is content with mediocrity can cause you to lower your own standards. Their complacency can become contagious, leading you to settle for less than you're capable of achieving. Saying no to the influence of unmotivated people allows you to remain focused on your personal growth and ambitions. The self-centered person is another individual to say no to. This type of person is primarily concerned with their own needs, often disregarding the well-being or feelings of others. They expect the world to revolve around them and rarely offer support or consideration in return. Stoicism teaches that life is about more than self-interest. It's about contributing to the greater good and fostering healthy, balanced relationships. A self-centered person drains your energy by making everything about themselves, leaving little room for mutual respect or reciprocity. Saying no to their influence ensures that your time and energy are spent on more meaningful, balanced interactions. Next, you should avoid the person who thrives on victimhood. This individual constantly sees themselves as a victim of circumstances, blaming others for their problems and never taking responsibility for their actions. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of personal responsibility and the understanding that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, control how we respond. The victim-minded person refuses to take ownership of their life, and being around them can pull you into a mindset of helplessness. Saying no to their influence helps you maintain your sense of personal empowerment and accountability. Lastly, the opportunist is someone to distance yourself from. This person only seeks relationships for what they can gain from them, with little regard for mutual respect or care. They take advantage of others' kindness or generosity, using people as stepping stones to get what they want. Stoicism values honesty, fairness, and authentic relationships. Associating with opportunists can leave you feeling used and drained, as they rarely give back what they take. Saying no to these types of people ensures that your relationships are based on mutual respect and support, not exploitation. By recognizing these types of people and setting boundaries with them, you protect your inner peace, your personal growth, and your ability to live in alignment with your values. Stoicism teaches that we should focus on what is within our control, and the people we allow into our lives are part of that. It's not about harsh judgment, but about understanding that certain individuals can hinder your progress and well-being. Saying no to these 9 types of people is an act of self-preservation, allowing you to remain focused on your path and maintain a healthy, balanced mindset. Surrounding yourself with those who uplift and support you is key to living a life of purpose and fulfillment. At first, setting these boundaries may feel difficult. You might worry about hurting someone's feelings or creating conflict. But Stoicism teaches that prioritizing your own well-being is not an act of selfishness. It's a necessary step in living a balanced and purposeful life. When you say no to those who bring negativity, manipulation, or toxicity into your life, you're saying yes to your own peace of mind and personal growth. You're allowing space for more positive, uplifting relationships that align with your values and goals. It's also important to remember that saying no to these types of people doesn't mean you need to confront them aggressively or cut ties dramatically. Often, it's about gradually distancing yourself, reducing the amount of time you spend with them, and being mindful of how much influence you allow them to have over your thoughts and emotions. Stoicism teaches that wisdom lies in quiet, thoughtful actions. By mindfully setting these boundaries, you maintain control over your life and protect your peace without unnecessary conflict. Focusing on surrounding yourself with people who embody positive qualities, kindness, integrity, ambition, creates a supportive environment where you can thrive. Stoicism encourages us to seek out those who share our values and who inspire us to be better. When you surround yourself with the right people, you not only protect your peace of mind, but also foster your own growth. Positive relationships act as a mirror, reflecting your strengths and encouraging you to develop further. As you continue to practice saying no to toxic influences, you'll notice that your confidence grows. Each time you set a boundary, you're reinforcing the idea that your well-being is important. Stoicism teaches that self-respect is a core part of living a virtuous life. By saying no to those who drain your energy or compromise your values, you strengthen your sense of self-respect and build a life that reflects your true character. Ultimately, saying no to these 9 types of people allows you to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your peace, and your purpose. It frees you from the distractions and negativity that can cloud your judgment and pull you away from your goals. In doing so, you create a life that is not only more peaceful, but also more aligned with your values. Stoicism teaches that a life well lived is one that is true to oneself, and by setting these boundaries, you take a powerful step toward living that life. Stoicism offers invaluable wisdom when it comes to choosing the people we allow into our lives. By learning to say no to these 9 types of individuals, you protect your peace of mind, maintain your integrity, and create an environment where you can thrive. It's about recognizing the impact that others have on your life and taking control of your relationships to ensure that they support, rather than hinder, your growth. The path to personal excellence requires focus, resilience, and strong boundaries, and by saying no to the wrong influences, you clear the way for the right ones. Now that we've explored the importance of setting boundaries and saying no to harmful influences, it's time to dive into something even more subtle yet powerful: how to win the mind game using reverse psychology strategies. In 2024, understanding how people think and being able to subtly influence them can give you an edge in navigating both personal and professional relationships. The ability to guide others without direct confrontation or force is a skill rooted in psychological awareness and wisdom. It's not about manipulation in a harmful sense, but about guiding outcomes that align with your goals and the well-being of others. Reverse psychology works because it plays on human nature. When people feel that their freedom to choose is being limited, they often react by doing the opposite of what's expected or demanded. The key to using reverse psychology effectively is understanding the power of suggestion and how to subtly frame choices in a way that makes people feel they are in control. This taps into one of the deepest psychological needs: autonomy. By offering people the illusion of choice, you can steer them toward a decision that ultimately benefits both parties. One of the first strategies for using reverse psychology is to appear indifferent to the outcome. When people sense that you are emotionally invested in a particular outcome, they might resist simply to assert their independence. However, when you display indifference or downplay the importance of the decision, it often creates curiosity or a desire to pursue the path that you subtly suggested. This approach shifts the dynamic from one of pressure to one of self-discovery, allowing the other person to feel as though they've made the decision on their own terms. Another powerful technique is to encourage the opposite of what you actually want. This works particularly well in situations where someone is hesitant or resistant to taking action. By subtly suggesting that they might not be capable of doing something, or that perhaps it's too difficult for them, you often trigger a response that proves you wrong. Human pride and the desire to assert one's capabilities come into play here, leading them to do exactly what you wanted all along, just to demonstrate that they can. Framing options in a way that leads to a desired outcome is another reverse psychology tactic. People like to feel that they are making decisions, so by providing 2 or more options, both of which ultimately lead to a favorable result, you guide their choices without making them feel cornered. This approach gives them the freedom to choose while still steering them toward the outcome you desire. It's about subtle direction, not outright control, which makes the other person feel empowered rather than manipulated. When using reverse psychology, it's also essential to be mindful of timing. Sometimes the most effective way to influence someone's decision is to wait for the right moment to apply gentle pressure. Pushing too hard, too soon, can create resistance, but waiting until the person is already leaning in a certain direction allows you to nudge them toward the final decision without them even realizing it. Patience is key here, and knowing when to step back is just as important as knowing when to push forward. Another strategy involves questioning someone's commitment to an idea or decision in a subtle way. By gently suggesting that they might not be as invested as they think, you spark a desire to prove their commitment. This taps into the natural human need to affirm one's decisions and to avoid being seen as inconsistent or unsure. It's a strategy that works particularly well when someone is wavering or uncertain about their course of action. By questioning their dedication, you prompt them to reinforce their commitment. Reverse psychology also involves a deep understanding of emotional cues. People are often driven by emotions rather than logic, and tapping into these emotional triggers can help you steer conversations and decisions in the direction you want. It's not about manipulation, but about recognizing how emotions guide behavior. For instance, if someone is motivated by fear of failure, you can frame your suggestions in a way that minimizes this fear, guiding them toward the action you desire by making it feel like the safer or more secure option. Additionally, humor can be a powerful tool in reverse psychology. Light-heartedly suggesting the opposite of what you want, especially in situations that aren't overly serious, can disarm people and make them more receptive to your true intentions. Humor diffuses tension and lowers people's defenses, making them more likely to respond positively to your suggestions. It's a way of guiding people without creating resistance, as they are less likely to see the suggestion as manipulative when it's framed in a playful or humorous context. Another element to consider is the power of silence. In many cases, allowing someone to fill the silence after making a subtle suggestion gives them the space to think through the decision themselves. Often, people will justify their actions or choices in ways that align with your intended outcome, simply because they've been given the opportunity to process their thoughts aloud. Silence can be a powerful psychological tool, allowing the other person to convince themselves without feeling like they've been pushed into a decision. Understanding body language and nonverbal cues also plays a significant role in reverse psychology. People often communicate more through their body language than their words, and by being attuned to these signals, you can guide conversations and decisions without needing to be direct. For example, mirroring someone's posture or expressions creates a sense of rapport and trust, making them more likely to respond favorably to your subtle suggestions. It's about creating a connection that makes them feel understood and comfortable, which lowers their resistance to your influence. Another reverse psychology tactic involves highlighting the potential consequences of not taking action. People are often more motivated by avoiding loss than by gaining something, so subtly pointing out what they stand to lose if they don't follow through can push them toward the desired outcome. It's not about fear-mongering, but about making them aware of the stakes in a way that encourages them to act in their own best interest. This approach taps into the natural human tendency to avoid regret and loss. Using reverse psychology requires a keen understanding of the other person's personality and motivations. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and different strategies work for different people. Some individuals respond well to challenges, while others may be more motivated by subtle guidance or the need to maintain autonomy. Tailoring your approach to the person you're dealing with is crucial for success. Understanding their unique triggers and desires allows you to craft your suggestions in a way that resonates with them on a personal level. Another important aspect of reverse psychology is avoiding direct confrontation. People often become defensive when they feel attacked or pressured, which makes them less likely to follow your lead. By framing your suggestions in a non-confrontational way, you lower their defenses and make them more open to your influence. This approach works particularly well in situations where the person is likely to resist if they feel challenged. It's about creating a sense of collaboration rather than opposition. Empathy is also key in reverse psychology. By demonstrating that you understand the other person's perspective and concerns, you build trust and make them more open to your influence. Empathy allows you to connect with their emotions, which is where most decisions are made. People are more likely to follow your suggestions if they feel that you genuinely understand their position and are guiding them in a way that benefits them as well. It's not about manipulation, but about fostering a sense of mutual respect and understanding. Reverse psychology can also be used to diffuse tense situations. When someone is angry or frustrated, trying to force them to see your point of view often backfires. Instead, acknowledging their emotions and subtly suggesting the opposite of what you want can disarm them and lead them to reconsider their stance. For example, in a heated argument, agreeing with the other person's point without fully conceding can make them pause and question their own position. This technique redirects the conversation and opens the door for more constructive dialogue. Another effective use of reverse psychology is in negotiation. By downplaying your interest in a particular outcome or offering, you often make the other party more eager to reach an agreement. People are naturally more inclined to pursue something that seems just out of reach, and by appearing indifferent or willing to walk away, you create a sense of scarcity or urgency that can drive them to meet your terms. It's a subtle way of increasing your leverage without resorting to direct demands. When using reverse psychology, it's important to keep your ego in check. This strategy works best when you're not overtly concerned with winning or proving a point. Instead, it's about achieving the desired outcome in a way that benefits both parties. Stoicism teaches the importance of humility, and this applies to reverse psychology as well. The goal is not to dominate or outsmart the other person, but to guide them toward a decision that serves the greater good. By keeping your ego out of the equation, you ensure that your intentions remain pure and that the other person feels respected. Another aspect of reverse psychology involves appealing to someone's sense of identity. People are often motivated by the desire to live up to certain ideals or values, and by framing your suggestions in a way that aligns with their self-image, you can influence their behavior. For example, if someone sees themselves as a generous person, subtly suggesting that they might not want to help in a particular situation can trigger them to take action to prove their generosity. This approach taps into their need for consistency between their actions and their self-perception. Reverse psychology can also be used to encourage creativity and problem-solving. When someone is stuck or resistant to a particular approach, suggesting the opposite can open their mind to new possibilities. For instance, if a colleague is resistant to a new idea, you might suggest that the current approach is fine and doesn't need to change, prompting them to reconsider and propose improvements themselves. This technique works because it removes the pressure to conform and allows the other person to explore alternatives on their own terms. Another subtle strategy is to express doubt about someone's ability to achieve a goal, especially if they are naturally competitive or driven by a desire to prove others wrong. By questioning their capabilities in a light, non-confrontational way, you can inspire them to take action and prove you wrong. This tactic works well in situations where the person is already inclined to succeed, but needs an extra push to get motivated. In personal relationships, reverse psychology can be particularly useful when trying to encourage someone to take responsibility for their actions. Instead of directly telling them what they need to do, suggesting that perhaps it's not their responsibility or that someone else might handle it better, can prompt them to step up and take ownership. People often feel a stronger sense of accountability when they perceive that others doubt their ability to handle a situation, leading them to take charge in order to prove their competence. Reverse psychology works best when it is applied sparingly and thoughtfully. Overusing these tactics can make them transparent leading to mistrust or resentment. The key is to use reverse psychology in situations where subtle influence is needed and where the other person's autonomy and dignity are respected. It's about creating win-win scenarios where both parties feel empowered and positive about the outcome. As we move from understanding the power of reverse psychology in influencing others, we now turn inward to explore a truth that many people avoid: the power of uncertainty. In a world that constantly pushes us toward control and predictability, it's easy to resist uncertainty. But Stoicism teaches a valuable lesson. True clarity comes from accepting and embracing the unknown. When you release the need for certainty, you free yourself to see things as they truly are, not as you wish them to be. The willingness to embrace uncertainty opens the door to deeper understanding and more deliberate decision-making. When you embrace uncertainty, you become more adaptable. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control every outcome leads to frustration and anxiety. By accepting that uncertainty is a natural part of life, you shift your focus from controlling the future to preparing yourself for whatever may come. This mindset allows you to stay flexible, open to change, and ready to adjust your course as needed. Instead of clinging to a rigid plan, you become more fluid, able to navigate life's twists and turns with greater ease. One of the most freeing aspects of embracing uncertainty is that it relieves the pressure of perfectionism. When you accept that you can't predict or control everything, you no longer feel the need to have all the answers or make perfect decisions. Stoicism teaches that striving for excellence is valuable, but it also reminds us that we must accept our limitations. Embracing uncertainty means recognizing that mistakes and setbacks are part of the journey. By letting go of the need for perfection, you free yourself to make decisions with more clarity and confidence, knowing that failure is not the end, but part of the learning process. Embracing uncertainty also fosters a sense of curiosity. When you release the fear of the unknown, you open yourself up to new possibilities and experiences. Curiosity drives you to explore different perspectives and ideas, leading to a richer understanding of the world and your place in it. Stoicism encourages us to remain students of life, always learning and growing. By embracing uncertainty, you allow yourself to ask questions without needing immediate answers, leading to greater insight and wisdom over time. Another benefit of embracing uncertainty is that it helps you stay present. Fear of the future often pulls us out of the present moment, filling our minds with worry and doubt. Stoicism teaches that the present is the only time we truly have control over, and by focusing on the now, we gain clarity and peace. When you stop trying to predict or control the future, you can fully engage with the present, making clearer decisions based on what is happening now rather than on hypothetical fears or outcomes. Accepting uncertainty also strengthens your resilience. Life is full of challenges and unexpected events, and those who are rigid in their thinking often struggle to cope when things don't go as planned. By embracing uncertainty, you build emotional and mental resilience, allowing you to bounce back from setbacks more quickly. Stoicism teaches that our strength lies in how we respond to difficulties, not in avoiding them. The more comfortable you become with uncertainty, the stronger and more capable you are of handling life's inevitable disruptions. Another powerful aspect of embracing uncertainty is that it helps you let go of attachment to specific outcomes. Often, we become so focused on achieving a certain result that we overlook other opportunities that might arise along the way. Stoicism teaches that while we can control our efforts, we cannot control the outcomes. By embracing uncertainty, you free yourself from the need for a particular outcome and open yourself to the possibilities that may come. This mindset allows you to focus on the process, not just the end goal, which often leads to greater fulfillment and success. When you embrace uncertainty, you also cultivate patience. In a world that often demands quick answers and immediate results, it can be difficult to sit with the unknown. But Stoicism teaches that patience is a virtue, and by learning to wait with grace, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the situation at hand. Patience allows you to gather more information, reflect on your options, and make clearer decisions. It also helps you develop trust in the natural flow of life, knowing that answers will come in their own time if you remain open and attentive. Embracing uncertainty also reduces fear. Much of the fear we experience comes from trying to control or predict what is inherently unpredictable. Stoicism teaches that fear often stems from our attachment to things outside of our control. When you accept uncertainty as a natural part of life, you free yourself from the need to constantly anticipate or avoid potential dangers. This acceptance doesn't eliminate challenges, but it allows you to face them with a calm and composed mind, unburdened by unnecessary worry. Another benefit of embracing uncertainty is that it encourages humility. Often, our need for certainty is rooted in a desire to feel in control or superior in some way. But Stoicism reminds us that we are all part of a larger, unpredictable world. By accepting that we don't have all the answers and can't control everything, we develop a greater sense of humility and respect for the complexity of life. This humility fosters clearer thinking, as it allows us to remain open to new ideas, feedback, and experiences that can deepen our understanding. Embracing uncertainty also fosters greater creativity. When we let go of rigid expectations and embrace the unknown, we allow ourselves to think outside the box and explore new possibilities. Stoicism teaches that adaptability is key to navigating life's challenges, and creativity is a powerful tool in this process. By embracing uncertainty, you free your mind to explore different solutions and approaches, leading to more innovative and effective decision-making. In addition, embracing uncertainty strengthens your faith in yourself. When you stop relying on external certainty and start trusting in your own ability to handle whatever comes your way, you develop a deeper sense of self-confidence. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, and by embracing uncertainty, you learn to trust in your resilience, resourcefulness, and ability to navigate life's challenges. This inner trust allows you to move forward with greater clarity and conviction, even when the path ahead is unclear. Another key aspect of embracing uncertainty is learning to detach from the need for control. So much of our stress and anxiety comes from trying to control things that are beyond our reach. Stoicism teaches that while we can control our own actions, we cannot control the actions of others or the outcome of events. By embracing uncertainty, you learn to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses, while letting go of the rest. This detachment brings clarity and peace, as you no longer waste energy on things you cannot change. When you embrace uncertainty, you also become more comfortable with change. Change is inevitable, and resisting it only leads to frustration and stagnation. Stoicism teaches that life is in constant flux, and by accepting this truth, you free yourself to adapt and grow. Embracing uncertainty means recognizing that change is not something to fear, but an opportunity for growth and learning. This mindset allows you to move through life with greater ease, ready to embrace whatever changes come your way with an open heart and mind. Another important lesson that comes from embracing uncertainty is the ability to let go of regret. When we are overly focused on trying to predict or control the future, we often dwell on past mistakes, fearing that they will repeat themselves. But Stoicism teaches that the past is beyond our control, and regret only keeps us stuck. By embracing uncertainty, you learn to let go of the past and focus on the present, trusting that the future will unfold as it should. This mindset allows you to move forward with clarity, unburdened by the weight of past regrets. Embracing uncertainty also helps you develop a sense of gratitude. When you accept that life is unpredictable, you begin to appreciate the present moment and the things you do have. Stoicism teaches that gratitude is a key component of a peaceful mind, and by focusing on what is within your control, your attitude, actions, and perspective, you cultivate a sense of contentment and appreciation for the here and now. This gratitude brings clarity as it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. Another powerful result of embracing uncertainty is that it enhances your decision-making skills. When you accept that you cannot predict the future, you learn to make decisions based on the information you have in the present. Stoicism teaches that clarity comes from thoughtful reflection and deliberate action, not from trying to control every outcome. By embracing uncertainty, you become more comfortable making decisions with incomplete information, trusting in your ability to adapt and adjust as needed. Embracing uncertainty also helps you develop greater empathy. When you accept that life is unpredictable for everyone, you become more understanding and compassionate toward others. Stoicism teaches that we are all connected, and by embracing the uncertainty of life, you develop a deeper appreciation for the struggles and challenges that others face. This empathy fosters clearer communication and stronger relationships, as you are better able to relate to others on a human level. In addition, embracing uncertainty allows you to let go of the need for external validation. Often, our desire for certainty is rooted in a need for approval or reassurance from others. But Stoicism teaches that true peace and clarity come from within, not from the opinions or approval of others. By embracing uncertainty, you learn to trust in your own judgment and inner guidance, freeing yourself from the need to constantly seek validation from outside sources. Another benefit of embracing uncertainty is that it encourages mindfulness. When you stop trying to control the future, you become more present in the moment. Stoicism teaches that the present is all we truly have, and by focusing on the now, you gain clarity and peace. Embracing uncertainty allows you to fully engage with the present moment, making clearer decisions based on what is happening right now, rather than worrying about hypothetical future scenarios. Embracing uncertainty also helps you develop a sense of inner freedom. When you stop trying to predict or control every aspect of your life, you free yourself from the constraints of rigid expectations and fear of the unknown. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from within, and by embracing uncertainty, you learn to live with a sense of openness and possibility. This inner freedom allows you to approach life with a lighter heart and a clearer mind, ready to embrace whatever comes your way. Embracing uncertainty is not about giving up control, but about finding clarity and peace within the unpredictability of life. Stoicism teaches that by accepting the unknown, we free ourselves to live more fully, make clearer decisions, and approach life with greater resilience and wisdom. When you embrace uncertainty, you open yourself to new possibilities, deeper understanding, and a more authentic connection with yourself and the world around you. As we move from embracing uncertainty to finding clarity in the unpredictability of life, the next essential step is mastering the art of emotional detachment. In Stoicism, emotional detachment doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent, but rather cultivating the ability to view life's challenges without being swept away by emotional impulses. Emotional detachment allows you to step back, assess situations with clarity, and respond in ways that align with reason and wisdom, rather than reacting out of anger, fear, or frustration. It is through this practice that you can gain a clearer perspective on life leading to more thoughtful decisions and a greater sense of inner peace. When you develop emotional detachment, you begin to see situations as they truly are, rather than through the lens of heightened emotion. Often, emotions can cloud our judgment, making us react impulsively or irrationally. Stoicism teaches that clarity comes from seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be or fear them to be. By detaching from your emotional impulses, you allow yourself to assess situations objectively, making decisions based on reason rather than on fleeting feelings. This ability to see clearly is essential for navigating life's challenges with wisdom and poise. Emotional detachment also helps you remain calm in the face of adversity. When you are overly attached to outcomes or emotionally invested in how things unfold, you are more likely to experience stress, anxiety, and frustration when things don't go as planned. Stoicism reminds us that while we can control our actions, we cannot control the outcome of events. By detaching from your emotional attachment to a specific result, you free yourself from unnecessary worry and disappointment. This detachment allows you to stay calm and composed, even when life doesn't go as expected. Another benefit of emotional detachment is that it helps you avoid overreacting. When we let emotions drive our reactions, we often respond in ways that escalate a situation rather than resolving it. Anger, frustration, or fear can lead to impulsive decisions or harsh words that we later regret. Stoicism teaches the value of measured responses and self-control. By practicing emotional detachment, you give yourself the space to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting in the heat of the moment. This not only leads to better outcomes, but also preserves your relationships and your peace of mind. Developing emotional detachment also allows you to maintain a sense of inner stability. Life is full of ups and downs, and when we are overly attached to external circumstances, our emotional state becomes dependent on things outside of our control. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from within, not from the external world. By detaching from emotional responses to external events, you cultivate an inner stability that remains constant regardless of what is happening around you. This stability gives you the strength to face challenges with resilience and clarity. Emotional detachment also helps you to let go of resentment and grudges. When we hold on to negative emotions like anger or bitterness, it not only clouds our judgment, but also keeps us stuck in the past. Stoicism teaches that holding on to these emotions only harms ourselves, not the person we are angry with. By practicing emotional detachment, you learn to let go of these negative feelings, freeing yourself from the emotional burden they carry. This allows you to move forward with a clear mind and an open heart, unencumbered by the weight of past hurts. Another important aspect of emotional detachment is that it helps you remain focused on what is within your control. Often, our emotional reactions are triggered by things we cannot control: other people's actions, unexpected events, or circumstances beyond our influence. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control these external factors, we can control our own thoughts, actions, and responses. By detaching from emotional impulses, you shift your focus from what is outside your control to what is within it. This shift in focus leads to greater clarity and a sense of empowerment as you direct your energy toward things you can influence. Emotional detachment also fosters a greater sense of empathy and understanding. When we are caught up in our own emotional reactions, it can be difficult to see things from another person's perspective. Stoicism teaches the importance of understanding others and cultivating compassion. By detaching from your own emotions, you create the mental space to listen more deeply and see situations through the eyes of others. This ability to step outside of your own emotional experience allows you to approach conflicts or misunderstandings with greater compassion and clarity, leading to more harmonious relationships. Another powerful result of emotional detachment is that it helps you avoid taking things personally. Often, our emotional reactions are triggered by the belief that someone else's actions or words are a personal attack. Stoicism teaches that other people's actions are a reflection of their own inner world, not a reflection of your worth. By detaching from emotional reactions to criticism or negative behavior, you free yourself from the need for validation or approval from others. This detachment allows you to maintain your sense of self-worth and confidence, regardless of how others behave. Emotional detachment also helps you to remain patient in difficult situations. When we are emotionally invested in a particular outcome, it's easy to become frustrated or impatient when things don't happen as quickly as we'd like. Stoicism teaches that patience is essential for navigating life's challenges with grace. By detaching from the need for immediate results, you allow yourself to wait with calmness and clarity, trusting that things will unfold in their own time. This patience not only reduces stress, but also allows you to make more thoughtful, deliberate decisions. In addition, emotional detachment strengthens your ability to manage stress. When we are emotionally reactive, small challenges can feel overwhelming, and stress can quickly spiral out of control. Stoicism teaches that we should remain calm and composed, even in the face of adversity. By practicing emotional detachment, you create a buffer between yourself and the stresses in your life. This buffer allows you to approach challenges with a clear mind, reducing the emotional impact of stressful situations and giving you the mental clarity needed to find solutions. Another key benefit of emotional detachment is that it helps you avoid burnout. When we are emotionally invested in every aspect of our lives, work, relationships, personal goals, it can become exhausting. Stoicism teaches the importance of balance and moderation. By detaching from emotional overinvestment, you protect your mental and emotional energy. This detachment allows you to approach your responsibilities with a sense of calm and clarity, rather than feeling overwhelmed by the weight of emotional expectations. In this way, emotional detachment helps you maintain your well-being and avoid the burnout that comes from overexertion. Emotional detachment also helps you develop a more objective perspective on your own emotions. Instead of being swept away by feelings of anger, sadness, or frustration, you learn to observe your emotions from a distance. Stoicism teaches that emotions are natural, but we must not allow them to control us. By detaching from your emotional impulses, you gain the ability to observe them without becoming entangled in them. This objectivity allows you to better understand your emotional triggers and respond to them in a healthier, more constructive way. Another powerful aspect of emotional detachment is that it helps you avoid the emotional roller coaster of highs and lows. Life is full of moments of joy and disappointment, and when we are overly attached to these emotional peaks and valleys, our inner state becomes unstable. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from maintaining a steady, balanced mind. By practicing emotional detachment, you learn to appreciate life's joys without becoming overly attached to them, and to face life's challenges without being overwhelmed by them. This balanced approach leads to a more peaceful and contented life. Emotional detachment also allows you to remain focused on your long-term goals. When we are emotionally reactive, it's easy to become distracted by short-term setbacks or challenges. Stoicism teaches the importance of staying focused on what truly matters and not allowing temporary emotions to derail our progress. By detaching from emotional impulses, you keep your attention on your long-term vision, making decisions that align with your goals rather than reacting to immediate frustrations. This focus leads to greater clarity and success in achieving your objectives. Another important lesson that comes from emotional detachment is the ability to accept impermanence. Everything in life is temporary: relationships, possessions, even emotions themselves. Stoicism teaches that by accepting the impermanent nature of life, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and disappointment. Emotional detachment allows you to experience life's joys and sorrows with grace, knowing that nothing lasts forever. This acceptance of impermanence brings clarity, as it helps you to prioritize what truly matters and let go of what you cannot hold on to. Emotional detachment also helps you to develop greater self-awareness. When we are caught up in our emotions, it's easy to lose sight of our own patterns of behavior and thought. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-reflection and personal growth. By detaching from emotional reactions, you create the mental space needed to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and feelings. This self-awareness allows you to identify areas for growth and improvement, leading to greater clarity and understanding of yourself. Another benefit of emotional detachment is that it helps you navigate conflicts with greater ease. When emotions run high, conflicts often escalate, leading to misunderstandings and hurt feelings. Stoicism teaches that we should approach conflicts with calmness and reason. By practicing emotional detachment, you create the mental space needed to listen more deeply, respond more thoughtfully, and de-escalate tensions. This approach not only leads to better outcomes in conflicts, but also preserves your relationships and your peace of mind. Emotional detachment also fosters greater self-discipline. When we are driven by emotional impulses, it's easy to give in to temptation or make choices that don't align with our long-term goals. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-control and discipline in living a virtuous life. By detaching from emotional impulses, you gain the clarity needed to make decisions based on reason and wisdom, rather than on fleeting desires or emotions. This self-discipline leads to greater success in achieving your goals and living in alignment with your values. Developing emotional detachment is essential for gaining clarity and navigating life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Stoicism teaches that by detaching from emotional impulses, we free ourselves to see situations as they truly are, respond with thoughtfulness and reason, and maintain a sense of inner peace and stability. Emotional detachment allows us to approach life with greater clarity, compassion, and resilience, leading to more harmonious relationships, better decision-making, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Through this practice, we gain the ability to live more fully and intentionally, no longer controlled by our emotions, but guided by wisdom and understanding. Having explored the importance of emotional detachment and the clarity it brings, the next essential step is mastering the art of self-control. Self-control is one of the most powerful tools we have in Stoic philosophy, as it enables us to harness our inner strength and live with greater purpose and direction. It is through self-control that we gain mastery over our impulses, desires, and reactions, allowing us to move through life with discipline and intentionality. The ability to control oneself not only leads to personal growth, but also provides a deeper sense of inner power and freedom. When you cultivate self-control, you begin to realize that true power comes from within, not from external circumstances. Many people believe that controlling the world around them will bring them security and peace, but Stoicism teaches that real strength lies in controlling yourself. By mastering your own thoughts, emotions, and actions, you gain a sense of control that cannot be shaken by external events. This inner power allows you to navigate life's challenges with confidence and composure, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to respond in alignment with your values. Self-control also helps you develop discipline in all areas of life. Whether it's maintaining healthy habits, staying focused on your goals, or managing your time effectively, self-control is the foundation of discipline. Stoicism teaches that a life well lived is one guided by purpose and intention, and discipline is what allows you to stay on course. By practicing self-control, you train your mind and body to follow through on your commitments, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. This discipline leads to long-term success and fulfillment as you steadily work toward your goals with consistency and focus. Another powerful benefit of self-control is that it strengthens your ability to resist temptation. Life is full of distractions and temptations that can pull you off course, whether it's the lure of instant gratification, the pull of negative habits, or the pressure to conform to societal expectations. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from being able to resist these temptations and stay true to your values. By mastering self-control, you gain the ability to say no to what does not serve you and yes to what aligns with your higher purpose. This resistance to temptation leads to a life of greater integrity and authenticity. Self-control also fosters patience. In a world that often demands immediate results and constant action, it can be difficult to wait for the things that matter most. But Stoicism teaches that patience is a virtue, and self-control is what allows you to cultivate this patience. By controlling your impulses and delaying gratification, you learn to trust in the process and to wait for the right opportunities to unfold. This patience not only reduces stress, but also allows you to make clearer, more thoughtful decisions, leading to better outcomes in the long run. Another important aspect of self-control is that it helps you manage your emotions. While emotions are a natural part of being human, Stoicism teaches that we must not allow them to control us. By practicing self-control, you gain the ability to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This emotional regulation allows you to respond to situations with calmness and reason, rather than reacting impulsively out of anger, fear, or frustration. The more you practice self-control, the more emotionally resilient you become, able to navigate life's ups and downs with steady composure. Self-control also leads to greater clarity in decision-making. When we are driven by our impulses or emotional reactions, it's easy to make choices that don't align with our long-term goals or values. Stoicism teaches that clarity comes from thoughtful reflection and deliberate action. By mastering self-control, you create the mental space needed to weigh your options carefully and make decisions that serve your highest good. This clarity not only leads to better outcomes, but also allows you to live with greater purpose and intention. Another key benefit of self-control is that it strengthens your relationships. When you are able to control your reactions and manage your emotions, you become a more thoughtful and compassionate partner, friend, or colleague. Stoicism teaches that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and patience. By practicing self-control, you create the emotional stability needed to navigate conflicts, communicate effectively, and support the people around you. This self-mastery not only deepens your connections with others, but also helps you build trust and respect in your relationships. Self-control also allows you to live more mindfully. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to become reactive, constantly responding to external stimuli without thinking. Stoicism teaches that mindfulness is essential for living a meaningful life, and self-control is what allows you to cultivate this mindfulness. By practicing self-control, you become more aware of your thoughts, actions, and emotions, allowing you to respond with intention rather than reacting automatically. This mindfulness brings greater clarity and focus, helping you stay present and engaged in each moment of your life. Another powerful result of self-control is that it helps you maintain a sense of inner peace. When you are constantly reacting to external events, your inner world becomes chaotic and unstable. Stoicism teaches that peace comes from within, and self-control is what allows you to create and maintain this inner peace. By mastering your impulses and reactions, you gain the ability to remain calm and centered, even in the face of adversity. This inner peace not only enhances your well-being, but also allows you to approach life's challenges with greater clarity and strength. Self-control also helps you build a stronger sense of self-worth. When we lack self-control, it's easy to feel powerless or out of control, leading to feelings of guilt, shame, or inadequacy. But Stoicism teaches that true confidence comes from within, and self-control is what allows you to build this inner confidence. By mastering your own thoughts, actions, and behaviors, you develop a deep sense of self-respect and self-trust. This inner confidence allows you to face life's challenges with courage and resilience, knowing that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. Another benefit of self-control is that it enhances your ability to manage stress. Life is full of pressures and demands, and without self-control, it's easy to become overwhelmed by stress. Stoicism teaches that we must remain calm and composed in the face of adversity, and self-control is what allows you to do so. By mastering your reactions and staying focused on what you can control, you reduce the emotional impact of stress and create a sense of calm amidst the chaos. This ability to manage stress not only improves your mental and emotional well-being, but also enhances your ability to make clear, thoughtful decisions under pressure. Self-control also leads to greater physical well-being. Whether it's maintaining a healthy diet, exercising regularly, or getting enough sleep, self-control is essential for taking care of your body. Stoicism teaches that our physical health is an important part of living a balanced and purposeful life. By practicing self-control, you develop the discipline needed to make healthy choices, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. This commitment to your physical well-being not only enhances your energy and vitality, but also strengthens your mind-body connection, leading to a greater sense of overall well-being. Another important lesson that comes from self-control is the ability to let go of what you cannot control. Often, our desire for control leads us to try to manage every aspect of our lives, including things that are beyond our influence. Stoicism teaches that while we can control our own actions, we cannot control external events or the actions of others. By mastering self-control, you learn to focus on what is within your power and let go of the rest. This detachment from external outcomes brings clarity and peace, as you no longer waste energy on things you cannot change. Self-control also helps you develop a growth mindset. When we lack self-control, it's easy to become discouraged by setbacks or failures. But Stoicism teaches that growth comes from perseverance and resilience. By mastering self-control, you develop the ability to keep going, even when things are difficult or when progress seems slow. This growth mindset allows you to view challenges as opportunities for learning and improvement rather than as obstacles to your success. This mindset leads to greater clarity and determination as you continue to pursue your goals with patience and persistence. Another benefit of self-control is that it helps you live with greater integrity. When we are driven by our impulses or emotions, it's easy to compromise our values or make decisions that don't align with our true selves. Stoicism teaches that living a virtuous life means staying true to your values, even in the face of temptation or difficulty. By practicing self-control, you gain the ability to make decisions that reflect your integrity and honor your commitments. This alignment between your actions and your values leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose in life. Self-control also enhances your ability to handle criticism and feedback. When we lack self-control, it's easy to become defensive or reactive when others offer criticism or advice. Stoicism teaches that we should approach feedback with an open mind, viewing it as an opportunity for growth. By mastering self-control, you gain the ability to listen to feedback without becoming emotionally reactive, allowing you to learn from it and improve. This openness to growth not only enhances your personal development, but also strengthens your relationships and your ability to collaborate with others. Mastering the art of self-control is essential for living a life of purpose and direction. Stoicism teaches that true power comes from within, and self-control is what allows us to harness that power. By cultivating self-control, we gain the ability to manage our thoughts, emotions, and actions, leading to greater clarity, resilience, and fulfillment. Self-control not only helps us achieve our goals, but also allows us to live with greater integrity, peace, and mindfulness. Through the practice of self-control, we become the masters of our own lives, no longer driven by impulses or external circumstances, but guided by wisdom, discipline, and inner strength. Having explored the power of self-control and how it grants inner strength, the next vital step in Stoic philosophy is recognizing when to let go of toxic ideals. Sometimes the beliefs and societal expectations we hold on to can silently weigh us down, keeping us from reaching our full potential. These ideals, shaped by outside forces, often create unrealistic standards or push us to chase things that don't align with our true selves. It's crucial to identify and release these harmful beliefs if we want to experience true personal growth and live with genuine purpose. Letting go of toxic ideals starts with self-awareness. You cannot release something if you don't first acknowledge that it exists. These beliefs often hide in plain sight, shaping our actions and decisions without us even realizing it. Societal pressures to look, act, or live a certain way often become ingrained in our minds over time. Stoicism teaches us to be reflective and critical of the thoughts and beliefs we hold. Only by questioning our beliefs can we begin to separate what is truly important from what is toxic and limiting. One common toxic ideal is the need for external validation. We often seek approval from others to feel worthy or successful, but this constant pursuit leaves us dependent on the opinions of others. Stoicism teaches that true validation comes from within, not from outside sources. Letting go of the need for external validation frees you from the exhausting cycle of trying to please everyone and instead allows you to focus on your own values and goals. This shift brings clarity as you begin to live for yourself rather than for the approval of others. Another toxic ideal is the belief that success is defined by material wealth or social status. Society often glorifies the pursuit of wealth, power, and prestige, but Stoicism reminds us that these external markers of success are fleeting and ultimately out of our control. By letting go of the idea that success is tied to material gains, you open yourself up to a more fulfilling and meaningful definition of success, one that is rooted in personal growth, integrity, and inner peace. This redefinition of success allows you to focus on what truly matters in life, rather than chasing shallow achievements that don't bring lasting happiness. The belief that we must be perfect is another toxic ideal that hinders personal growth. Perfectionism can paralyze you, making you afraid to take risks or pursue your goals because you fear making mistakes. Stoicism teaches that mistakes are an inevitable part of the human experience and that growth comes from learning and evolving through those mistakes. Letting go of the need to be perfect allows you to embrace failure as a natural and valuable part of the journey. This acceptance fosters resilience and courage, empowering you to move forward even when things don't go perfectly. Another harmful belief is the idea that we must constantly compare ourselves to others. Social media and societal norms often fuel the toxic habit of comparing our lives, achievements, and appearances to those of others. Stoicism teaches that each person's path is unique, and comparison only breeds envy, insecurity, and dissatisfaction. Letting go of the need to measure yourself against others brings a sense of freedom and contentment. It allows you to focus on your own progress, celebrate your own victories, and live according to your own values, rather than trying to compete with someone else's standards. The idea that happiness is something we must constantly chase is another toxic belief that can limit our fulfillment. Many people believe that happiness will come once they achieve a certain goal, acquire a certain possession, or reach a specific milestone. But Stoicism teaches that happiness is found in the present moment, not in some distant future. By letting go of the idea that happiness is something to be chased, you learn to find contentment in the here and now. This shift in mindset allows you to appreciate life as it unfolds, rather than constantly striving for the next thing that promises happiness. Another toxic ideal is the belief that we must always be in control. Many people feel anxious when things don't go according to plan or when they can't predict the future. Stoicism teaches that much of life is outside of our control, and trying to control everything only leads to frustration and suffering. Letting go of the need for control allows you to live with greater peace and flexibility, knowing that you can't always control the circumstances, but you can control how you respond to them. This mindset fosters a sense of calm and acceptance, helping you navigate life's unpredictability with grace. The belief that vulnerability is a weakness is another harmful ideal that holds many people back. Society often teaches us to hide our emotions, mask our struggles, and present ourselves as always strong and in control. But Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from embracing vulnerability and being honest about our feelings and challenges. Letting go of the idea that vulnerability is a sign of weakness allows you to live more authentically and connect with others on a deeper level. This openness not only strengthens relationships, but also fosters personal growth, as you learn to face and work through your emotions rather than suppressing them. Another toxic ideal is the belief that we must always be busy to be productive. In today's fast-paced world, there is often a pressure to constantly be doing something, as if being busy equates to being successful. But Stoicism teaches that productivity is not about constant activity, but about meaningful action. Letting go of the need to always be busy allows you to focus on quality over quantity, doing fewer things with greater purpose and intention. This shift leads to a more balanced and fulfilling life, as you learn to prioritize what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in the hustle for the sake of it. The idea that you must have everything figured out by a certain age is another toxic belief that can create unnecessary pressure. Many people feel like they are behind or failing if they haven't reached certain milestones, whether it's career success, marriage, or financial stability, by a certain point in life. Stoicism teaches that everyone's path is different and that there is no one timeline for success. Letting go of this belief allows you to live your life at your own pace, focusing on your own journey rather than conforming to arbitrary societal expectations. This acceptance brings a sense of peace and allows you to enjoy the process of growth without feeling rushed or inadequate. Another toxic ideal is the belief that life should be free of challenges and suffering. Many people believe that if they are experiencing difficulties, something must be wrong. But Stoicism teaches that challenges and suffering are an inherent part of life, and that growth comes from how we face and overcome them. Letting go of the belief that life should always be easy allows you to approach challenges with resilience and acceptance. This mindset helps you see difficulties as opportunities for growth, rather than signs of failure or misfortune. The idea that you must always have the answers is another harmful belief that can stifle personal growth. Many people feel the need to always know what they're doing or where they're headed, but Stoicism teaches that uncertainty is a natural part of life. Letting go of the need to have all the answers allows you to embrace the unknown with curiosity and openness. This acceptance of uncertainty fosters a sense of inner peace as you learn to trust the process and have faith in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. Another toxic ideal is the belief that you must constantly achieve to be worthy. Society often places a high value on achievement and accomplishment, leading many people to tie their sense of self-worth to their success or productivity. Stoicism teaches that your worth is not determined by external achievements, but by your character and actions. Letting go of the need to constantly achieve allows you to find value in simply being, rather than always striving to do more. This shift leads to a deeper sense of self-acceptance and inner peace, as you learn to appreciate yourself for who you are, not just for what you accomplish. The belief that you must always be strong and independent is another harmful ideal that can isolate you from others. Society often glorifies independence and self-reliance, but Stoicism teaches that we are all interconnected and that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Letting go of the belief that you must always be strong allows you to be more open to receiving support from others. This openness fosters deeper connections and helps you build a support system that can lift you up during difficult times. Another toxic ideal is the belief that life is a competition. Many people are taught to view life as a race, constantly competing with others for success, recognition, or resources. Stoicism teaches that life is not a competition, but a personal journey of growth and self-improvement. Letting go of the need to compete with others allows you to focus on your own progress and growth, rather than comparing yourself to those around you. This mindset fosters a sense of contentment and inner peace, as you learn to celebrate your own achievements without feeling the need to outdo anyone else. The idea that you must always be happy is another harmful belief that can create unrealistic expectations. Many people believe that happiness is the ultimate goal in life and that feeling anything less than happiness means something is wrong. But Stoicism teaches that life is full of a range of emotions and that true contentment comes from accepting all of them. Letting go of the belief that you must always be happy allows you to embrace the full spectrum of human emotions, understanding that sadness, frustration, and even anger have their place. This acceptance brings a deeper sense of peace and well-being as you learn to experience life fully rather than constantly chasing happiness. Another toxic ideal is the belief that success is a destination. Many people believe that once they reach a certain point, whether it's financial stability, career success, or personal fulfillment, they will have made it and can finally relax. But Stoicism teaches that success is not a fixed point, but an ongoing process of growth and self-improvement. Letting go of the belief that success is a destination allows you to focus on the journey, finding fulfillment in the process rather than in reaching a specific end point. This shift in perspective leads to greater satisfaction and joy as you learn to appreciate the present moment rather than always striving for the next goal. Recognizing and letting go of toxic ideals is essential for personal growth and fulfillment. Stoicism teaches that many of the beliefs and societal expectations we hold on to are limiting and harmful, keeping us from living authentically and with purpose. By identifying these toxic ideals and releasing them, we free ourselves to live more fully, with greater clarity, peace, and inner strength. Letting go of what no longer serves us allows us to embrace what truly matters, leading to a life of greater fulfillment, meaning, and personal growth. As we step away from releasing toxic ideals, we now turn toward a new level of personal growth, leading by example. Stoicism teaches us that true leadership is not about control or dominance. It's about embodying the principles you believe in and inspiring others through your actions and values. Leading by example means living authentically, with integrity and wisdom, guiding others not through force, but by showing them the power of a virtuous life. This kind of leadership leaves a lasting impact and creates meaningful change, both in your life and in the lives of those around you. Leadership through Stoicism begins with self-mastery. Before you can lead others, you must first lead yourself. The way you manage your emotions, face challenges, and make decisions reflects who you are and what you stand for. People are more likely to follow someone who demonstrates calmness, clarity, and strength in difficult times. Stoicism teaches that leadership is not about grand speeches or public displays, but about quiet, consistent actions that show resilience and character. When others see you navigating life's storms with composure, they are naturally drawn to that strength. Another key aspect of leading by example is practicing humility. Stoicism emphasizes that we are all learners on the journey of life, and no one has all the answers. As a leader, showing humility allows you to connect with others on a human level, acknowledging that you too are constantly learning and evolving. This humility fosters trust and respect, as people appreciate leaders who are willing to listen, learn, and grow. By leading with humility, you create an environment where others feel safe to express themselves, share ideas, and contribute meaningfully. Leading by example also means holding yourself accountable. Stoicism teaches that we must take responsibility for our actions and choices, rather than blaming external circumstances. When you demonstrate accountability, you show others that leadership is about owning both successes and failures. This kind of transparency builds trust and encourages those around you to also take ownership of their actions. Accountability in leadership creates a culture of honesty and growth, where people feel empowered to reflect on their own behavior and make improvements. Another way Stoicism helps you lead by example is through emotional regulation. Leaders who are easily swayed by anger, frustration, or fear often create an unstable environment for those they lead. Stoicism teaches that true strength lies in controlling your emotional responses, especially in high-pressure situations. When you remain calm and composed in the face of challenges, you set a powerful example for others. This emotional stability not only helps you make clearer decisions, but also reassures those around you, inspiring confidence and trust. Leading by example also involves practicing fairness and justice. Stoicism teaches that we should treat others with respect, kindness, and fairness, regardless of their position or status. As a leader, showing fairness in your actions and decisions fosters a sense of equity and respect among those you lead. People are more likely to follow a leader who treats everyone with dignity and does not play favorites. This fairness creates a culture of trust and loyalty, where people feel valued and appreciated for who they are, rather than just for what they can do. Stoicism also encourages leaders to lead with purpose. Leading by example means having a clear sense of your values and guiding principles and staying true to them in everything you do. When you lead with purpose, others see that you are not swayed by trends or external pressures, but are committed to living according to your principles. This clarity of purpose inspires others to also seek meaning in their own actions and decisions. Leading with purpose creates a sense of direction and motivation, helping others find their own sense of purpose along the way. Another important aspect of leading by example is demonstrating resilience. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, and how you handle those difficulties sets the tone for those around you. Stoicism teaches that resilience is not about avoiding hardship, but about facing it with courage and strength. When you show resilience in the face of adversity, you inspire others to also persevere through their own challenges. Your ability to bounce back from failure, to keep moving forward despite obstacles, shows others that true leadership is about endurance and determination. Leading by example also means leading with empathy. Stoicism teaches that we should seek to understand others, to see the world from their perspective. As a leader, demonstrating empathy allows you to connect with those you lead on a deeper level, showing that you care about their well-being and success. Empathy fosters a sense of community and support, where people feel valued not just for their contributions, but for who they are as individuals. By leading with empathy, you create an environment where others feel seen, heard, and appreciated. Another powerful way to lead by example is through the practice of self-discipline. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of discipline in achieving personal and collective goals. As a leader, showing discipline in your actions, whether through your work ethic, time management, or decision-making, sets a strong example for others to follow. When people see you consistently staying focused, working hard, and making thoughtful decisions, they are more likely to adopt those same practices in their own lives. Self-discipline in leadership creates a culture of productivity and excellence. Leading by example also involves encouraging others to grow. Stoicism teaches that life is a continuous journey of self-improvement, and as a leader, part of your role is to inspire growth in those around you. By demonstrating a commitment to your own growth, whether through learning new skills, seeking feedback, or reflecting on your experiences, you inspire others to do the same. Encouraging others to push beyond their comfort zones, to take risks, and to learn from their mistakes fosters a culture of innovation and continuous improvement. A Stoic leader also leads with integrity. Integrity means staying true to your values, even when it's difficult or unpopular. People respect and follow leaders who act with integrity because they trust that those leaders will make decisions based on what is right, not what is easy or convenient. Leading by example with integrity shows others that doing the right thing matters more than taking shortcuts or seeking approval. This commitment to ethical leadership inspires others to also act with integrity in their own lives and decisions. Another way Stoicism helps you lead by example is through the practice of gratitude. Stoicism teaches that gratitude is a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace and contentment. As a leader, demonstrating gratitude not only enhances your own well-being, but also sets a positive tone for those you lead. When you express gratitude for the efforts and contributions of others, you create a culture of appreciation and positivity. Gratitude in leadership fosters a sense of belonging and motivation, encouraging others to continue giving their best. Leading by example also means leading with humility. Stoicism teaches that we must remain humble, knowing that we are always growing and learning. As a leader, showing humility means acknowledging your own limitations and being open to feedback and collaboration. People are more likely to follow a leader who is willing to listen, learn, and admit when they don't have all the answers. Leading with humility creates a culture of shared learning where everyone feels empowered to contribute and grow. Another important aspect of leading by example is fostering a sense of balance. Stoicism teaches that balance is essential for a fulfilling life, and as a leader, demonstrating balance in your own life inspires others to do the same. Whether it's balancing work and personal life, managing stress, or maintaining perspective, your ability to stay balanced shows others that success does not come from overworking or neglecting well-being. Leading with balance encourages others to prioritize their own well-being and maintain a healthy perspective on life and work. Leading by example also involves showing courage. Stoicism teaches that courage is essential for facing life's challenges and standing up for what is right. As a leader, demonstrating courage, whether in making tough decisions, speaking out against injustice, or taking risks, sets a powerful example for others. Courage in leadership shows others that fear should not hold them back from pursuing their goals or standing up for their beliefs. By leading with courage, you inspire others to also be brave in their own lives. Another key element of leading by example is practicing mindfulness. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of being present and aware of your thoughts, actions, and surroundings. As a leader, demonstrating mindfulness allows you to respond to situations with clarity and intention, rather than reacting impulsively. Mindfulness in leadership fosters a sense of calm and focus, creating an environment where others feel safe and supported. By leading with mindfulness, you inspire others to also be present and intentional in their actions and decisions. Leading by example also means leading with kindness. Stoicism teaches that we should treat others with kindness and compassion, recognizing that we are all interconnected. As a leader, showing kindness in your interactions with others, whether through offering support, showing understanding, or simply being respectful, creates a positive and inclusive environment. Kindness in leadership fosters a sense of belonging and community, where people feel valued and supported in their efforts. By leading with kindness, you inspire others to also act with compassion and care. Another powerful way to lead by example is through the practice of reflection. Stoicism teaches that regular self-reflection is essential for growth and understanding. As a leader, demonstrating a commitment to reflection, whether through journaling, meditation, or thoughtful contemplation, shows others the importance of pausing to assess and learn from their experiences. Reflection in leadership fosters a culture of continuous improvement, where people are encouraged to learn from both successes and failures. By leading with reflection, you inspire others to also take time to reflect on their own actions and growth. Leading by example also involves practicing resilience. Stoicism teaches that resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks and keep moving forward. As a leader, demonstrating resilience in the face of adversity shows others that challenges are not the end, but an opportunity for growth. Resilience in leadership inspires confidence and determination, as people see that even in difficult times, there is a way forward. By leading with resilience, you encourage others to also persevere through their own challenges with strength and optimism. Another aspect of leading by example is demonstrating consistency. Stoicism teaches that consistency in thought and action is essential for living a life of integrity. As a leader, showing consistency in your values, decisions, and behavior builds trust and reliability. People are more likely to follow a leader who is steady and dependable, knowing that they can count on that leader to act in accordance with their principles. Leading with consistency creates a sense of stability and trust, encouraging others to also act with consistency and integrity in their own lives. Stoicism teaches that the most powerful form of leadership is leading by example. By embodying the principles of Stoic wisdom, self-mastery, humility, empathy, resilience, and integrity, you inspire others not through force, but through your actions and values. Leading by example creates a ripple effect, empowering those around you to also live with purpose, discipline, and authenticity. Through this form of leadership, you not only guide others toward their own growth and fulfillment, but also create a positive and lasting impact on the world around you. As we leave behind the discussion of leading by example and the impact it has on others, we now turn inward once again to explore a crucial element of personal mastery: the power of saying no to distractions. In a world that constantly demands our attention, being able to focus on what truly matters has become more difficult, but also more valuable than ever. Stoicism teaches us that distractions, whether they come from external sources or arise from within, are obstacles that pull us away from living with intention. By learning to say no to these distractions, we sharpen our focus and stay aligned with our purpose, achieving clarity and peace in a chaotic world. The first step in mastering focus is recognizing what truly matters. Too often, distractions come disguised as important tasks or opportunities, but they lead us away from our core values and goals. Stoicism encourages us to reflect deeply on what is essential and to make deliberate choices about where we invest our time and energy. By identifying the things that genuinely matter in your life, you can begin to filter out the noise and focus only on what aligns with your purpose. This clarity is the foundation of a focused and meaningful life. Learning to say no to distractions also requires cultivating discipline. It's easy to get swept up in the allure of short-term pleasures or mindless activities that provide immediate gratification but offer little long-term value. Stoicism teaches that true fulfillment comes from pursuing the things that align with our higher purpose, even if they require patience and effort. By developing the discipline to say no to fleeting distractions, you build the strength to stay committed to your goals and values, leading to deeper satisfaction and personal growth. Another critical aspect of eliminating distractions is learning to manage your time wisely. Time is one of our most valuable resources, yet it is often wasted on trivial matters that do not contribute to our well-being or progress. Stoicism teaches that we must be mindful of how we spend our time, recognizing that every moment is an opportunity to grow, learn, and live with intention. By saying no to activities that drain your time without adding value, you free yourself to focus on the things that truly matter, making each moment more meaningful. Saying no to distractions also means setting boundaries, both with yourself and with others. Often, distractions come in the form of external demands, requests from friends, family, or colleagues that pull you away from your priorities. Stoicism teaches that it is essential to protect your time and energy by setting clear boundaries and learning to say no when necessary. By doing so, you show respect for your own needs and goals, creating the space to focus on what is most important to you. These boundaries allow you to live with greater clarity and purpose, free from the constant pull of external pressures. In addition to external distractions, internal distractions can also be a significant obstacle to focus. Our minds are often filled with thoughts, worries, and fears that pull us away from the present moment and disrupt our focus. Stoicism teaches that we must learn to quiet these internal distractions by practicing mindfulness and staying present. By letting go of mental clutter and focusing on what is within our control, we can maintain a clear mind and stay focused on the task at hand. This mental discipline allows us to approach each moment with intention and purpose, rather than being scattered by internal noise. Another way to eliminate distractions is to simplify your environment. The world around us is filled with stimuli that compete for our attention, whether it's the constant notifications on our phones, the clutter in our living spaces, or the endless stream of information from the media. Stoicism teaches that simplicity is key to maintaining focus. By decluttering your environment and removing unnecessary distractions, you create a space that supports your ability to concentrate and stay present. This simplicity brings a sense of calm and clarity, allowing you to focus on what truly matters without being overwhelmed by external noise. Saying no to distractions also means being selective about the information you consume. In the age of information overload, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of news, social media, and entertainment that bombards us every day. Stoicism teaches that we must be discerning about the information we take in, choosing only that which is useful and relevant to our goals and values. By limiting your exposure to unnecessary or negative information, you free your mind to focus on the things that truly matter, reducing mental clutter and enhancing your ability to think clearly. Another important aspect of saying no to distractions is learning to manage your energy. It's not just about what you focus on, but also how much energy you have to give to the things that matter. Stoicism teaches that we must be mindful of how we use our energy, recognizing that we have limited reserves each day. By saying no to activities, people, or thoughts that drain your energy without contributing to your well-being, you conserve your energy for the things that truly matter. This energy management allows you to stay engaged and focused, rather than feeling depleted and distracted. Saying no to distractions also requires the ability to embrace discomfort. Often, distractions provide an escape from difficult tasks or uncomfortable emotions. Stoicism teaches that we must face challenges head-on rather than avoiding them through distractions. By learning to sit with discomfort and focus on the task at hand, you build resilience and mental toughness. This ability to stay focused, even when things are difficult, is a key component of Stoic discipline and leads to greater personal growth and achievement. Another powerful way to eliminate distractions is to cultivate a sense of purpose in everything you do. When you are clear about why you are doing something, it becomes easier to stay focused and resist distractions. Stoicism teaches that purpose is essential for living a meaningful life, and by aligning your actions with your purpose, you naturally become more focused and intentional. This sense of purpose helps you stay motivated, even when distractions arise, because you know what you are working toward is meaningful and important. Learning to say no to distractions also involves developing the habit of deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus intensely on a task for an extended period of time without interruptions. Stoicism teaches that mastery and excellence come from sustained effort and concentration. By practicing deep work, you train your mind to focus fully on the task at hand, blocking out distractions and entering a state of flow. This focused effort leads to greater productivity, creativity, and fulfillment as you make significant progress on the things that matter most. Another key aspect of eliminating distractions is learning to prioritize. Not all tasks are created equal, and some are more important than others in terms of contributing to your goals and values. Stoicism teaches that we must be intentional about how we prioritize our time and energy, focusing on the most important tasks first. By saying no to less important tasks or activities, you free yourself to focus on the things that have the greatest impact on your life. This ability to prioritize leads to greater clarity and effectiveness as you direct your efforts toward what truly matters. Saying no to distractions also means learning to let go of the need for constant stimulation. In today's fast-paced world, many people have become accustomed to constant entertainment and stimulation, whether it's through social media, TV, or other forms of distraction. Stoicism teaches that we must learn to be comfortable with stillness and focus, rather than constantly seeking external stimulation. By embracing moments of quiet and concentration, you create the space for deeper reflection and focus, allowing you to engage more fully with your life and goals. Another important aspect of saying no to distractions is developing self-awareness. Often, we are not even aware of the distractions that pull us away from what matters most. Stoicism teaches that self-awareness is essential for personal growth and clarity. By becoming more mindful of the distractions that arise in your life, whether they are external or internal, you can take deliberate steps to eliminate them. This self-awareness allows you to stay focused on your goals and values, making more intentional choices about where you direct your attention. Learning to say no to distractions also involves cultivating patience. In a world that often demands instant results and immediate gratification, it's easy to become distracted by the desire for quick fixes. Stoicism teaches that true progress takes time and that patience is essential for staying focused on long-term goals. By saying no to the temptation of quick rewards, you develop the patience to stay committed to your path, even when progress is slow. This patience leads to greater success and fulfillment as you stay focused on what truly matters in the long run. Another powerful way to eliminate distractions is to develop a routine that supports focus. Stoicism teaches that habits and routines are essential for maintaining discipline and clarity. By creating a daily routine that includes time for focused work, reflection, and rest, you build a structure that helps you stay on track. This routine becomes a foundation for your focus, reducing the likelihood of distractions and keeping you aligned with your goals. A well-crafted routine allows you to approach each day with intention and purpose, making it easier to say no to distractions that might otherwise pull you off course. Saying no to distractions also requires the ability to detach from outcomes. Often, distractions arise from our anxiety about the future or our attachment to specific results. Stoicism teaches that we must focus on the process, not the outcome. By letting go of the need for a particular result and focusing on doing your best in the present moment, you eliminate the distractions that come from worrying about what might happen. This detachment brings greater clarity and focus, allowing you to stay present and engaged with the task at hand. Another important aspect of saying no to distractions is learning to manage your emotions. Distractions often arise from emotional triggers, whether it's boredom, frustration, or anxiety. Stoicism teaches that we must learn to observe our emotions without being controlled by them. By developing emotional intelligence and learning to regulate your emotions, you reduce the likelihood of being pulled away by distractions. This emotional mastery allows you to stay focused and grounded, even in the face of challenging emotions, leading to greater clarity and inner peace. Saying no to distractions is essential for maintaining focus on what truly matters in life. Stoicism teaches that by eliminating both external and internal distractions, we create the mental space and clarity needed to pursue our goals and live with purpose. Through discipline, self-awareness, and intentional choices, we can filter out the noise and focus on what aligns with our values and aspirations. By mastering the art of saying no to distractions, we reclaim our time, energy, and attention, allowing us to live more fully, with greater clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. As we move from learning how to say no to distractions, we now dive deeper into one of the most crucial aspects of Stoicism: mastering your mind. In life, the greatest battles are often not the external challenges we face, but the internal struggles we encounter within ourselves. Mastering your mind is about controlling your thoughts, emotions, and reactions to navigate life's inevitable hardships with clarity and resilience. The Stoics teach that true power lies not in external circumstances, but in how we manage our inner world. Once you master your mind, you gain the ability to face any difficulty with strength and grace. Mastering your mind begins with awareness. Often, we are so caught up in the whirlwind of daily life that we fail to pay attention to our thoughts. Stoicism teaches that in order to gain control over your reactions, you first need to recognize what is happening inside your mind. This requires mindfulness and the ability to observe your thoughts without immediately acting on them. When you develop this mental awareness, you begin to see patterns, whether it's anxiety, anger, or impatience, and only then can you start to change them. Awareness is the foundation for mental mastery. Controlling your reactions is a key aspect of mastering your mind. Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond. Life will throw challenges, setbacks, and disappointments your way, but how you react to them is entirely up to you. When you master your mind, you learn to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This gives you the power to remain calm and composed, even in the most difficult situations. By choosing how you respond, you gain control over your experience of life. Another important element of mastering your mind is learning to separate what you can control from what you cannot. So much of our mental energy is wasted on worrying about things outside our control, other people's actions, unforeseen events, or outcomes we cannot predict. Stoicism teaches that peace of mind comes from focusing on what is within your control and letting go of the rest. When you master your mind, you learn to release the anxiety and frustration that come from trying to control the uncontrollable. This mental clarity allows you to focus your energy on what truly matters. Mastering your mind also involves cultivating resilience. Life is full of challenges, and the ability to bounce back from setbacks is essential for long-term success and happiness. Stoicism teaches that resilience is built by strengthening your mind, by facing difficulties head-on rather than avoiding them. Each time you face a challenge and choose to remain calm, patient, and focused, you build mental toughness. This resilience allows you to navigate life's battles with greater ease, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the inner strength to handle it. Another aspect of mastering your mind is developing emotional intelligence. Emotions are powerful forces that can either help or hinder us, depending on how we manage them. Stoicism teaches that while emotions are natural, we must not let them control us. By mastering your mind, you learn to observe your emotions without being swept away by them. This emotional regulation allows you to stay calm in the face of anger, sadness, or fear, giving you the clarity to make better decisions. When you control your emotions, you control your life. Mastering your mind also means learning to let go of fear. Fear is one of the most paralyzing emotions, and it often keeps us from taking action, making decisions. Stoicism teaches that fear arises from our thoughts, not from external events themselves. When you master your mind, you gain the ability to challenge and overcome fear by changing the way you think about the situations that trigger it. This mental strength allows you to act with courage and confidence, even when facing uncertainty or danger. Another benefit of mastering your mind is that it allows you to cultivate patience. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to become frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we'd like. Stoicism teaches that patience is a virtue, and that by mastering your mind, you can develop the ability to wait calmly for the things that truly matter. Patience allows you to stay focused on your goals without becoming discouraged by delays or obstacles. This mental discipline not only reduces stress, but also leads to better outcomes as you make more thoughtful and deliberate decisions. Mastering your mind also gives you the ability to handle criticism and feedback with grace. Stoicism teaches that we should not take criticism personally, as it is often more a reflection of the other person's perspective than of our own worth. When you master your mind, you learn to listen to feedback with an open heart, using it as an opportunity for growth rather than as a source of self-doubt. This mental resilience allows you to remain confident in your path while still being open to learning and improving. Another powerful aspect of mastering your mind is that it helps you avoid burnout. When we allow our minds to be consumed by stress, anxiety, or perfectionism, we quickly become overwhelmed and exhausted. Stoicism teaches that balance is essential for a healthy and fulfilling life. By mastering your mind, you learn to manage stress and maintain perspective, ensuring that you don't overextend yourself. This mental balance allows you to stay focused and energized without burning out from the pressures of daily life. Mastering your mind also leads to greater focus. In a world full of distractions, the ability to concentrate on what truly matters is a rare and valuable skill. Stoicism teaches that focus comes from controlling your thoughts and directing your attention toward what is essential. When you master your mind, you gain the ability to stay present and engaged, even in the face of distractions. This mental clarity allows you to achieve more in less time, as you are able to focus your energy on the tasks that will have the greatest impact. Another important aspect of mastering your mind is learning to embrace discomfort. Often, we avoid difficult tasks or situations because they make us uncomfortable. But Stoicism teaches that growth comes from facing discomfort head-on. By mastering your mind, you develop the mental strength to push through discomfort and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. This resilience allows you to tackle difficult tasks with confidence, knowing that each challenge makes you stronger. Mastering your mind also involves developing a sense of detachment from outcomes. Stoicism teaches that while we can control our actions, we cannot always control the results. When you master your mind, you learn to focus on doing your best in the present moment without becoming attached to a specific outcome. This detachment brings a sense of peace, as you are no longer tied to the success or failure of your efforts. Instead, you find fulfillment in the process itself, knowing that you have done your best. Another benefit of mastering your mind is that it helps you cultivate gratitude. Stoicism teaches that gratitude is a key component of a fulfilling life, as it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. When you master your mind, you gain the ability to practice gratitude even in difficult times. This mental shift allows you to find joy in the present moment, rather than constantly striving for more. Gratitude brings a sense of contentment and peace, helping you navigate life's challenges with a positive and resilient mindset. Mastering your mind also allows you to develop greater self-discipline. Stoicism teaches that discipline is essential for achieving your goals and living in alignment with your values. When you master your mind, you gain the ability to resist temptations and distractions that pull you off course. This mental discipline allows you to stay focused on your long-term vision, even when short-term pleasures or challenges arise. Self-discipline leads to greater success and fulfillment, as you consistently make choices that align with your purpose. Another important aspect of mastering your mind is developing the ability to adapt to change. Life is full of unexpected events, and the ability to adapt is essential for resilience. Stoicism teaches that change is inevitable and that resisting it only leads to suffering. When you master your mind, you learn to accept change with grace, seeing it as an opportunity for growth rather than as a threat. This mental flexibility allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with ease, knowing that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. Mastering your mind also gives you the ability to manage conflict effectively. Stoicism teaches that conflict often arises from misunderstandings or emotional reactions. By mastering your mind, you gain the ability to approach conflicts with calmness and reason rather than reacting impulsively. This mental clarity allows you to resolve conflicts more effectively, finding solutions that benefit everyone involved. By controlling your emotions and responses, you create a more harmonious and peaceful environment, both in your personal and professional life. Another benefit of mastering your mind is that it helps you stay grounded in the present moment. Often, we become consumed by thoughts of the past or worries about the future, which pulls us away from the present. Stoicism teaches that the present moment is all we truly have, and that we must learn to live fully in it. When you master your mind, you gain the ability to stay present, letting go of regrets or anxieties that do not serve you. This mindfulness brings a sense of peace and fulfillment as you learn to appreciate each moment as it comes. Mastering your mind also involves developing the ability to let go of negative thought patterns. Often, we are our own worst enemies, trapped in cycles of self-doubt, fear, or negativity. Stoicism teaches that we must learn to challenge and change these negative thought patterns in order to live with greater peace and clarity. By mastering your mind, you gain the ability to recognize when your thoughts are not serving you and to replace them with more positive and constructive ones. This mental shift allows you to approach life with a more optimistic and empowered mindset. Mastering your mind is the key to winning life's battles. Stoicism teaches that true power and resilience come not from external circumstances, but from within. By gaining control over your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, you develop the inner strength to face life's challenges with ease and clarity. Mastering your mind allows you to navigate adversity, maintain focus, and live with purpose, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Through the practice of Stoic resilience, you become the master of your own destiny, capable of handling whatever life throws your way. As you've now journeyed through the teachings of Stoicism, it's clear that the path to finding your true purpose begins within. From learning to respond, not react, to letting go of toxic relationships and ideals, Stoicism helps you build resilience, master your mind, and focus on what truly matters. You've seen how emotional detachment brings clarity, how self-control unlocks inner power, and how leading by example can inspire others. And most importantly, Stoicism teaches you to embrace uncertainty, trust in your process, and confidently say no to distractions that don't serve your higher calling. Now is the time to take this wisdom and apply it to your own life. What step will you take today toward mastering your mind and uncovering your true purpose? Share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear how Stoicism is helping you on your journey. And if this video brought you value, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Together, we'll keep exploring ways to live with purpose, clarity, and strength.